Hello. All right, this video I will go through another set of paper. Okay, here I have with me is the Kertas SEBENAR SPM 2024. So as you can see, this is the green color book. Okay, and yeah, it's like most students facing SPM have this book right now, right? So it's like very popular lah. Like a lot of people buy it, especially the batch 08, right? So I'm doing the paper that is from this book. Okay. So this is the Kertas SPM SEBENAR. Okay. The 2024 paper. Okay. Which is the last year SPM SEBENAR. So this is Addmaths paper 1. Okay. So let's not waste any time. I will go straight into it. Okay, question number 1. Let's read. Diagram 1 shows the straight line graph obtained when y equals 4x squared minus 5 is reduced to linear form. Okay, I already know this is form 4, chapter 6, the linear law chapter. Okay, so let's read one more time. This is a straight line graph obtained when this equation is reduced to linear form. That means this is not linear. Okay, so just from this line, you already can understand that this line is not linear because they say what? This straight line, okay, this straight line graph is obtained when this equation is reduced to linear form. So it means this equation is haven't reduced yet. Yeah, this equation is before the linear form, before we reduce it to linear form. So this is not a linear equation. Okay, so later I have to reduce it to linear form. And then they say express the big X and the big Y in terms of small x and the small y. All right, when we do linear law question, we have to always look at the y-axis and the x-axis, right? When I teach my students, I always say the same thing. Because you want your equation, if you want your equation to be in linear form, you want the equation sama dengan paksi y, the y-axis, right? But in this case, the y-axis, they actually put a big Y here. And for the x-axis, they put a big X. It means they don't want to tell you. It means they don't want to tell you what is the y-axis and the x-axis. That's what it means when they put the big Y, big X. So the big Y it could be 1 over y, it could be log y, it could be y square, it could be xy. No one knows. Okay, no one knows. Okay, so that's why they use the big Y because they don't want to let you know. Because if they let you know, then you know the answer already. Yeah, because the soalan asks you to write the big Y in terms of small y. So your job now is to find out what's the y-axis and the x-axis after converting this to linear form, right? But there's actually a clue in the diagram. I don't know whether you see it or not. It's this 4 right here. This is the clue that will help you get to the linear form. So usually when you change equation to linear form, you will always look at the y-axis, and if they got give us the y-axis, it's very simple. We just change accordingly and just make our equation sama dengan y-axis. But this question, they never give me the y and the x, so it's like very hard to do, right? So we look for some other clues, and I see it here. It's the 4. And tell me, what is this 4? That is the y-intercept of this line, right? Or in other words, the pintasan y. So this is actually the c. So the c is equals to 4. So tell me now, in your equation, do you see 4? Yes, it's here, right? But you want it to be the 4 to be c after you change to linear form. So your linear form looks like this. Y equals mx plus c. Then the yx have to be big Y, big X. And if you want the c to be 4, do you agree that you have to get rid of the x square? You have to hilangkan the x square, right? And the method is to divide everything by x square. Okay, so what I will do is I will divide everything by x square. And when I do that, my y-axis will change, and negative 5 will be negative 5 over x square, and the 4x square will just be left with 4. And that 4 is the c. That 4 will be written at the back over here. Okay, so now everything divide by x square. So I'm just gonna do divide x square, divide x square, divide x square for everyone lah. Because if you want to divide, you cannot just divide satu orang saja. Kalau divide satu orang, semua pun kena bahagi benda yang sama. So you will end up getting y over x square equals x square, and x square can cut, you left with 4. Negative 5 over x square, you can just write it here. Now we just arrange it so that it's in this format, y equals mx plus c. So the y-axis is clearly y over x square lah, and then equals mx plus b. You want the 4 to be at the c position, which is back over here. And then for the mx, you write this, but don't write negative 5 over x squared, because when you when your equation is in linear form, your m and x should be separated, and you should be able to see your x-axis clearly and your gradient clearly. So you don't want them to be jumbled up together. So now it's like you can see they are like, yeah, everything, yeah, jumbled up together. So what you can do is separate the negative 5 and the x square. And how you separate? Okay, usually this is how I teach my student. You will take this x square and you will push it out. Yeah, you push it to the right. But a lot of students, when they push it to the right, they will write negative 5x squared. No, no, no. This is wrong. When you push it out, actually the x squared stay at the bottom. It's at the bottom now. After you push it out, it will stay at the bottom like that. So if there's nothing up here means 1 lah, right? And let's put a bracket so that it looks tidy. Supaya dia nampak kemas. Alright. If you try to take negative 5 times with 1 over x squared, you will get back negative 5 over x squared. Okay. Yeah, because when you times, you darab atas saja kan. So yeah, you see it really gets back atas. It means this is correct already. So now you can very proudly write the y equals mx plus c. And remember, the y and x have to be huruf besar. So you can see the y-axis, you can see the x-axis, and the c is 4, which is which match with the uh, straight line in the diagram. Because the straight line in this diagram, the y-intercept is also 4, and you get 4 also, right? And then as you can see the gradient, you can see it clearly also is negative 5. But I don't think I'll be needing the gradient for this question. The soalan asked me to find big X and big Y in terms of small x, small y. So I'm going to continue here. The big X, which is the x-axis, will be 1 over x squared, meaning this is 1 over x squared. And then for the y-axis, that's going to be y over x squared. Small y over small x squared. So the big X, that will be 1 over x squared. And then comma, the big Y is y over x squared. Small y over small x squared, right? So that's the answer. Okay, so the question says express big X in terms of small x. So this is the answer. Big X in terms of small x. Big Y in terms of small y. Yeah, this big Y in terms of small y. And they say it can be X and or Y. That's why it can be Y or X or Y and X. So yeah, that's the answer. All right, this is worth 2 marks. So that's all. Okay, number 2. Okay, just by looking at this diagram, we can know already it's from 4 chapter 1. The function chapter, fungsi. Okay, diagram 2 shows the relation of two set, and I can see this is the arrow diagram. This is called the arrow diagram, and the arrow is all going that way, A to B, A to B, A to B, and I can also see that it's a one-to-one relation. Okay, because every object has one specific image. Yeah, so this is a one-to-one relation. So you can see one object, one image, one object, one image. Yeah. Okay. All right. What they want here, state the range of the relation. Range in Bahasa Melayu is called julat. And what is range? Range is the image. Range is the image. But you will only write those image that is connected by the line. Only write the image that is connected by the line. So I will write here range equals. So which one is object, which one is image? This is the object, this is the image. All right. The arrow, yeah, it's like before the arrow. Okay, because the arrow going that way, so this is the object, right? We call this the domain also. Negative 1, 2, 3, 5, that is the object, but we call it the domain also. And then the codomain will be all these numbers right here, all of it, including 20, the codomain lah. But when you write range, you will only write those image yang connected by the line. So it will be negative 5, 10, 15, not 20, because there's no line connected to 20, and then 25, right? And student always forget to put the curly bracket. Remember, you must put the curly bracket. If you don't put the curly bracket, you actually get 0 mark, because this question is only worth 1 mark. So definitely a little bit mistake here also, you will get 0 mark for it. So this range is have to put curly bracket. So I want you to remember now which case you have to put curly bracket. Just remember, when they ask for domain, codomain, range, only these three. When they ask for these three, domain, codomain, range, have to put curly bracket. The rest no need. The rest no need. Okay. If they say find image of negative, find image of 2, then that one no need to put bracket. Just write 10. That's it. Okay. Yeah. So only domain, codomain, range have to put the curly bracket. Okay, let's move on. Soalan B. Function gx equals to 3 minus x. Okay, they give us the function notation here. Gx is expressed in the form of ordered pairs as below. Alright, so they give us the ordered pairs here. Okay, ordered pairs, pasangan tertib. What is that? It means they write the object and image in a coordinate form. That's what we call ordered pairs, right? This one is in the arrow diagram form. Okay, there's actually 3 ways to write function. You can write it in arrow diagram form, or you can also write it in ordered pairs, or another way is to put it in a graph form. Okay, graph form is like you just put dot 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 dot, dot like that, right? And the coordinate of the points will actually tell you the object and image, right? Okay, so this one is ordered pairs. So what you need to know is the x coordinate reveals the object. Yeah, that's the object. And then the y coordinate reveals the image. Maksudnya the x coordinate is always the object, the y coordinate will always be the image. Okay, because you learned before, the x is the object, right? And then the fx is the image, okay? But sometimes it's not fx, sometimes it's like gx or hx or kx. Like for example, this question is gx lah, right? So all these 5 p minus 10 negative 6, these are all image, right? Okay, now it says find the value of small p. Okay, I can see it here. This is the small p they're talking about, right? Okay, so how to find this p? Well, they already give us the function notation gx equals 3 minus x, meaning the image is equals to 3 minus object. Because gx is the image, I told you just now. X is the object. So what this line means, okay, what this equation means, it means image is equals to 3 minus object. That is why if you look at this set, 5, which is the image, is equals to 3 minus negative 2. And it's true. Because if you just try it here, betul tak dia punya image sama dengan 3 minus object? Betul lah, because 5 is indeed equals to 3 minus object negative 2. Yeah, because 3 minus minus 2 you get 5, right? But of course you don't need to do this lah. They are asking for P mah. So what you should do is sub this instead. Or you want to sub this also can. I think both also can. Both also you get the same answer. Okay. So let's sub this one lah. So what happens? The image gx you sub with P minus 10. Okay, image is gx. 3 minus x is 3 minus 4. It means the image is equals to 3 minus object. So p minus 10, which is the image, equals to 3 minus object, 3 minus 4. So you end up getting p minus 10 equals 3 minus 4 gives you negative 1. And then negative 1 plus 10 is just 9. You can use your calculator to help you. You'll get the same. Okay, I'm just going to quickly prove to you that if I sub this one, you get the same answer. But in exam, you don't have to do both. I just want to make you understand and, just make it clear that make it clear that you can sub this one also lah. Because maybe some of you already do this and you sub the other one, and then maybe you say like, oh, you get different answer, whatever. So I'm just gonna quickly show it to you now. Gx equals 3 minus x, same meaning. Image equals 3 minus object. So what's the image for this case? Negative 6, 3 minus object, 3 minus p. Okay, the p is negative, but I want to find p. Usually kita akan tukar benda yang kita nak cari tu jadi positif. So if I want to find P, usually I try my best to make it positive. So I put here P. Then the negative 6 go there, become 3 plus 6. And as you can see, yeah, you get the same, right? But you don't have to do both. Just choose one. Yeah, choose this or choose this, whatever. Both also can. Okay, that's all. Okay, this is question number. Wait, what question is this? 3. Yeah, this one is 3. Okay, I think this is vector from 4 chapter 8. It's a vector question. So let's read the soalan. Diagram 3 shows vector A and vector CD on a square grid. Okay, so these are all square grid. And they say there's a vector A. Okay, I can see it. It's here. And then vector CD, I can see it also. It's here. And they both look like they are parallel. Okay, but let's not assume anything first. But from what I can see, it looks like they're parallel and they're facing the same direction. Okay, so far, okay, understand. And then number 1 says express CD in terms of A. So yeah, confirm they're parallel. Confirm. You know why suddenly I'm so confident? Because they say express CD in terms of A. It means your vector CD will be something A. Yeah, it will be something A, like a number and then A. And that something will be how many times you have to do the A lah. So it actually reveals that they are both parallel already. Because if they are both something A, this is one A lah. But this one is something A, right? Then that means they are both parallel already. Okay, so how you can do it? All right. From here we can see 1A is like this, right? And you can see this is 1A, 2A, 3A would be here. So 2.5. So this one is 2.5A. Okay. But we need to show the working, right? Yeah, we need to show the working, even though it's only 2 marks lah. So maybe it's just 1 mark for each of these. But I will show the working for you also. It's a bit long, but there is a way to show the working. I'll show you how. You change everything to coordinate vector. So as you can see, the small vector A, you can change in terms of change so that it becomes in terms of ij, because these are all square grid. So you can see vector A going from this point to this point is how many I, how many j. I is the horizontal movement, j is the vertical movement. So horizontal 2 kotak, vertical 2 kotak. So it means 2i plus 2j, and they're both positive because the 2 horizontal is towards right. It's moving towards right. Okay. So kalau you gerak towards right, you gerak kanan, it means positive. And then this one naik, that's why it's 2, right? And for CD, it is how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it will be kanan 5, atas naik 5 also. And it will be positive because ke kanan, ke atas, yeah, both positive. So that is vector CD 5i plus 5j. But don't forget, they are asking for CD in terms of A. So what you do? Let me think. CD equals lambda A lah. You understand, right? Because you want to know CD equals to something A ma, and we don't know the something is how much. We don't know how many times. So we just call it lambda. And then I just wait. Yeah. And then for the CD, I will just sub 5i plus 5j. Oh, one more thing. The reason why you can do like that is also because CD and A is parallel. That's also one of the reason why you can take these two vector equal, because they're parallel. Okay, so CD is 5 plus 5 equals to lambda. A is 2i plus 2j. Okay? And don't forget, we are trying to find the lambda here. So the lambda I expand become 2 lambda I plus 2 lambda j. And then this one is 5i plus 5 j. And then you compare. Okay? You compare. What's the meaning of compare? It means you, because they both equal ma. And on the left side you got ij, this one also ij. So you compare the coefficient of I with the coefficient of I. So 5 equals 2 lambda. And then compare the coefficient of j with the coefficient of j. So 5 equals 2 lambda. So you end up getting lambda same 5/2, 5/2. And you remember I teach you, okay, actually I don't know whether you remember or not because you might be like a new viewer. Like this might be the first video you watch from my channel. So I don't know whether you know this or not lah. But for my own student, for student that watch my videos regularly, you already biasa with the way I teach. So you already know this already. When the lambda on both sides is equal, means that they are really parallel. It means it proves that they are parallel. That is why for my last set paper I did the Selangor trial, Selangor set 2. I actually encountered this question also, but it's not same with this lah. The Selangor set paper, they actually ask you to prove that 3 points are collinear. But collinear and parallel are almost the same thing. And this is the method also. If you want to prove 3 points are collinear, just choose any two vectors along the 3 points, and then do the same thing. Equal letak lambda, and then if the lambda both sides same, we say that they are parallel. If it's not, then it's not. If it's not the same, the lambda here both sides not same, then it's not parallel. Okay? So the fact that they are the same means that they are parallel. So we can actually write CD equals what? Equals lambda A, and the lambda is 5/2a. Okay, and that's what the question asked for, CD in terms of A 5/2. And if you go back here, it's really 5/2 because it's 1a is like that, 2a is like that, and then this is like half, because as you can see this is 2 kotak 2 kotak, so the half is 1 1. That's why it's 2 and half, which is 2.5a, which is 5/2 lah. 5/2 is 2.5. Okay, so that's the answer, right? Okay lah, but this one is only worth 1 mark, so I don't think you have to do all this working. But I always enjoy, how to say, I always enjoy explaining it you using like full working. Okay, question 2. Draw negative 4a on diagram 3. So I think this one has no working. Yeah, the working is to draw in the diagram. So negative 4a. Okay, I understand now. Okay, actually you can do working also. Yeah, I just realized you can do the working also. Because negative 4a, you already convert a in terms of ij, right? Okay, so it will be negative 4 times with 2i plus 2j. Okay, I is the horizontal movement, j is the vertical movement. So you get negative 8i minus 8j. What's the meaning of negative 8i minus 8j? It means you are moving to the left 8 kotak and to the down 8 kotak. You can also write it in the matrix form. It's like this, negative 8, negative 8. Okay, it's the same thing lah. It's the same. So now I just have to draw this in the diagram. So I have to go 8 to the left, 8 ke bawah. Okay, so let me use a ruler and then use the line here. Okay, maybe start here. So I go 8 ke kanan. 1, 2, 3. I mean ke kiri because negative, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so here, and then go down or go up? Go down because negative 8, right? Okay, this is negative 8i, but you want to go negative 8j. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's the answer. Okay, remember to put the arrow. Okay, the arrow has to be like this. Okay, that's negative 4a because yeah lah, because you start from here, you go down so of course it will be like this lah. And it makes sense because 1a is like this. So 4a is like that, right? But why the arrow have to go opposite direction? This one going up, this one going down because they want negative 4a. Okay. Okay, another way to do it is you just take the a here and then just do it 4 times. But do it But when you put the arrow, you put it in the opposite direction and put negative 4a. Yeah, it's the same thing also lah. Same thing also. Okay? But it's just that I prefer explaining it using the working. Okay? Yeah. I'm sure a lot of you don't find this unnecessary. Like because it's just 2 marks, right? So you can just like yeah, you can just do it in one baris. Okay? But I like to explain the in details. So that it's like the strong students also get it, the weak students also get it. Okay. Okay. So I love to explain everything in depth. So hopefully you get it. All right, that's all. Okay, soalan B. Solution by scale drawing and or vector are not accepted. Okay, ini tak penting. Diagram 4 shows the straight line AB. Okay, this is also not important. Okay, because I can see it already, AB straight line. Okay, I can see they got give us 2 points here. And I can actually find the gradient, but don't do anything first because we don't know what the question wants. So let's read. Given that point C lies on AB, okay, C lies on AB, so C must be somewhere in between, right? Such that AC ratio CB is 2:1. Oh, okay. Don't find gradient. Yeah, this one don't find gradient. This one have to use other formula. Okay, what's the meaning of AC CB 2:1? It means the AC Nisba ratio is 2. So AC I put 2, I circle. CB ratio 1, so CB I ratio 1. It means this side is actually longer. But sir, why you put C here? The C should be down here, right? Because this side longer. Yeah, this one drawing only. Tak ada markah pun ini. Okay. They only get mark from the working. So this one is just I just put it there lah. Okay. If you tak suka, then you letak the C bawah sikit lah. But you don't have to measure accurately like make this the length times the length here. No need one lah. This is not like pendidikan seni is Addmaths. So this drawing is just to help us imagine the problem better. Okay, find the coordinate of C. So I want to find this coordinate. Okay, let me tell you what formula I will use. I will use the point C formula. I call it the point C formula. But it's not always you write point C one. Sometimes you write point A, point B, point F, point G, point K, depending on who's in between. Depending on who's in between. So can you tell me for this who's in between? Point C, right? So we have to write the point C lah. And by the way, this is from 4 chapter 7, the coordinate geometry chapter. So the point C formula, and this is how the formula works: bracket, line, comma, line, and then you have to darab silang. You have to take the point at the hujung, the point at the end here, and then you have to multiply with the ratio yang jauh. Always like that, darab silang. Okay, and remember always darab with the ratio yang jauh, not the dekat one. Not like that. No. You have to multiply with the ratio that is further away. So for B it will be 2 lah, and then for A will be 1. And when you multiply it, you have to write the result here. So when you take point B times 2, it means -1 times 2, -1 times 2. So -1 times 2 I write here. And then for the y coordinate is also -1, but you have to write here for the y coordinate because this is y coordinate. So you write after the comma lah. Okay, now you take the point A, 8 times 1. So you'll be 5 times 1, 8 times 1. 5 times 1, that's the x coordinate. So you write at the x coordinate. 8 times 1 is the y coordinate. You write at the y coordinate. Okay, nothing in between means plus. Okay, for down here, it will be the 2 ratio add together. So 1 plus 2, 1 plus 2. Okay. Okay, now you get your point C already. Just press calculator. -2 plus 5, 3 divided 3 is 1. -2 plus 8, 6 divided 3 is 2. So your point C coordinate 1, 2. And the soalan asks for what? Coordinate of C, right? So that is the answer. Okay, number 3, C. Okay, still doing number 3. Solution by scale drawing is not accepted. Okay, this is not important. Given that P45 and Q21 line. Okay, I think this one is lie lah. Lie, terletak lie. Okay, so P and Q terletak lie on a Cartesian plane. Okay, understand. Find the equation of straight line. Okay, okay. Which is perpendicular. To straight line PQ and passing through point P. Okay, I think I know what chapter is this. It's from 4 chapters. Coordinate geometry. So 7. Yeah. Same with the B, right? Yeah. But the A is vector. The A is vector, but the B and C is coordinate geometry. Okay, how do you find the equation of straight line when you're doing apa? How to find the equation of straight line when you're doing coordinate geometry? Okay, when you find equation of straight line in Addmaths, you will always use this formula: y minus y1 equals gradient x minus x1. Okay. Actually, there's another method to do it, which is I call it the maths way of doing it. This one is the Addmaths way of doing it. The maths way is the y equal mx plus c. You sub M and then you sub C. If they never give you the C, sub the XY passing through point to find C like that. Okay. Okay, but you can use this also, you get the same answer. Okay, but since we are doing Addmaths now, so I will use the Addmaths way to do it. This one. Okay, but do you know if you want to use this formula, you need to have the M and the x1 y1. What is M? The gradient. So we need these two information. First is we need the gradient, and we don't have because yeah they never say it. And another thing we need is the x1 y1. The x1 y1 represents a point yang kena passes through. Okay, it has to be a x coordinate and y coordinate, which is a point, but you have to make sure the line passes through it. So you cannot simply take P or Q. Cannot. You must take P here because they already said find equation of a straight line which is perpendicular to PQ and passing through point P. So what is this trying to tell us? Passing through point P is trying to tell us that the x1 y1 can only be substituted by point P. So because it only passes through, PT stands for passes through point P45. So I think I have the x1 y1 already, right? So that is like confirmed, we have it already. I don't have to do much already. The only thing I need now is the M, the gradient. If I have the gradient, I can straight away put inside this and find the equation already. So did they give us the gradient? No, but they mentioned something here. Perpendicular to PQ. What is the meaning of perpendicular to PQ? It means when you see the word perpendicular, you need to remember this. M1 times M2 equals -1. Because when two lines are perpendicular, when the two lines gradient multiply will be -1. Okay, so when two lines are perpendicular, which means two lines are 90 degree, dia punya hasil darab gradient will be -1. The M1 times M2 will be -1, right? So what happens here? It says perpendicular to PQ. So what I can do is I can find the gradient of PQ first, and then that will be the M1 lah. But I'm trying to find the M2, right? So I'll just take -1, divide with the M1, then I get my gradient here. And after I have these two things, sub this equation, sub this formula, and then proceed, and then you will get the equation, right? So what's the plan? Find gradient of PQ first. So the gradient of PQ formula will be, you already have the two coordinates, so just do y minus y over x minus x. So 5 minus 1 over 4 minus 2. You get 5 minus 1, which is 4, 4 minus 2, which is 2, you get 2. And I'll call this M1 for now. Alright. So if the M1 is 2, what is the M2? You use this formula lah. So I will draw two lines to separate them. M1 times M2 equals -1, right? Because perpendicular. Yeah, perpendicular. So one of the line gradient we already know is 2, but I'm trying to find the other line, which is perpendicular to PQ. So to find the M2, it will be -1 over 2. So that is the gradient. So now that you have the gradient and you have the passing through point, now you can use this formula already. Okay? What if I change this word to parallel? Can you tell me, if this one I change to parallel, can you tell me how to do this question if I change this word to parallel? Okay, parallel, you will do M1 equals M2. Okay, so if they say parallel to PQ, what it means? It means your M1 is 2, your M2 is also 2. Yeah, because parallel means gradient summer. But if perpendicular, the gradient is not same. Okay, the gradient M1 M times M2 will be -1. That's why we have to use this formula. Okay, now let's continue with this y minus y equals gradient x minus x. Right? For the gradient, jangan silap masuk. You don't go and masuk 2. It's wrong. They already said the equation of straight line, the line I'm finding is perpendicular to PQ. If you masuk 2, that is gradient of PQ. That is wrong. Unless they say parallel lah. So they say perpendicular to PQ. So what you have to do is you have to take -1 divide by the gradient of PQ, which is 2. That's why it's -1 over 2. For the x1, y1, that would be the point yang kena passes through baru boleh guna. So it will be 4, 5. So it will be y minus y. Okay, what's the y coordinate? 5. And then x minus x, x minus 4. Now you just have to expand and then write it in the linear form y equal mx plus c, then can already. Alright, y minus 5 equals -1 over 2 times x is -1 over 2x. -1 over 2 times -4. Okay, negative times negative, positive. 4 times 1 over 2 means 4 divided 2, so you get 2 here. And then the -5 can pindah sana, so dia akan jadi +2 +5 +7. So that's the answer. Okay, you can use your calculator to help you. Alright, sudah siap? Number 4. Diagram 5 shows a circle. Okay, this is from 5 chapter 1. Yeah. With center O and arc AB. Let's see. Center O, arc AB. This is the arc. The lengkok. Okay. Which subtends an angle theta radian at O. Okay, so this theta is in radian and it's the angle subtended I mean the arc AB, and then the angle subtended is theta radian. Okay, at O. Okay, it is given that the radius of the circle is R unit. Where is it? The radius of circle. So this is the radius lah, R, and it's R unit. So it's like they never say it's in cm or whatever. Okay, so I'll just write R lah. And then the length of minor arc AB is S unit again. So the arc AB, this one is S, right? So let's label that. So it'll be like this. Okay, that's the S, and they never give us the unit. So it could be cm, it could be meter, whatever. Just write S only lah. And then they say based on diagram 5, derive S equals R theta. So basically they want you to prove the formula lah. Okay, the formula, the prove the arc formula. Okay, derive means like prove the arc formula. Okay, this formula is one of the formula we learn in Form 5 chapter 1. Okay, actually this is the first formula we learn in Form 5 chapter 1. Yeah, the arc formula, right? S equals R theta. But we are not trying to use the formula now. We are trying to prove the formula. So we are trying to show the working how and show like how the formula, mm, how does the formula like macam mana datangnya formula ni lah. Yeah. So how do you prove that? Okay, first, let's talk about the circumference of the circle, right? So you actually learn this chapter like in circle, you actually learn it in Form 2, Form 3 also, you learn it already. But when you learn in Form 2, Form 3, you never use this formula because you never learn about radian. You use everything in degree, right? So you actually learn about this outside line. And what do we call this line? It's called the circumference C. And there's a formula to find the circumference of the circle. It's 2 pi r. Okay, 2 pi r. But if you want the length of arc, it will be 2 pi r also, but you have to times with theta over 360. This is what you learn in the Form 2. Okay, 2 pi r times theta over 360. Because arc means it's like here, like this only, right? So that's why you have to take 2 pi r, which is the whole circle, but you have to multiply with theta over 360, depending on what's the angle lah. And the theta has to be in degree. Okay, so this is what you learn in Form 2, Form 3. But when you master Form 5, you learn to change degree to radian. So you will use this formula instead, S equals R theta, because you learn about radian, right? So this formula, the theta has to be in radian. Okay, but actually this formula actually comes from this formula. Yeah, because imagine if your theta is in radian, so it becomes what? 2 pi r times theta over 360, right? So the theta would be in radian, but 360 in radian is 2 pi. And then when you cut, you see you left with r theta, right? That's why the arc formula is r theta. Okay, okay, but usually when they ask us to derive this formula, we usually what they mean is they want you to do like this. You have to understand one thing. Let's Okay, let me draw another circle to explain it. So you have to understand one thing. Okay, let's say this is the center. If I draw a radius here, you need to know that this arc right here, which is the S, is always directly proportional to the theta. You understand what it means? It means the bigger the theta, the bigger the arc. The smaller the angle, the smaller the arc, and it will be directly proportional. You understand, right? So that means when you the r radius is actually the constant. Okay, the r is actually the constant. Okay, and then the s will be always directly proportional to theta. Okay, so what it means? It means when you take s over theta, you will get the radius, and it will equal to equal to uh because s is the arc, right? And then theta will be the angle, right? The angle, and it will be equals to what? It will be equals to the circumference over with the 360, because of this, because the arc is always directly proportional to theta. Okay, so the ratio here will be same. So when you take arc, which is s, divide with theta, it will equals to the circumference over 360, and the circumference formula is this 2 pi r, and then over 360, assuming your theta is in degree lah. So if you do it like that, you actually end up getting 2 pi r times theta over 360, which is which is the arc formula, right? But that's not the formula we want now. We want the theta to be in radian. So so what do you think change? The 360, instead of putting 360, you have to put what? You have to put 2 pi lah. You have to put 2 pi. Okay. So what happens now? S over theta equals cut left with r, and then S equals r theta. Okay. So so what you have to know is this formula actually is connected to this formula you learn in form 2. It's a connected one. It's just that during when you learn it from 2, from 3, the theta has to be in degree. But now you must from 5, you put it in radian. Okay, but it's the same. You just change the 360 to 2 pi, then it becomes this formula already. Okay. All right, that's all. This is the done already. But and then just write the word derived. Okay. So yeah, this is how I would do it. Hope you understand. All right, let's move on. Okay, number 5. This one very obvious lah. From 4, chapter 4, the log chapter. Yeah, because I see the log already. Okay, it is given that log p base m equals to x. Okay, this is information, right? Okay, it's a bit blur, so I think it's better I write it. This one is log mp equals x. This one is log p base n equals to y. Okay, this is information. This is information. Using the law of logarithm, express the following in terms of x and y. So you want to express this, but they want it to be in terms of x and y. Okay, let's write down the question. So this is the question. Log p, and then the base is m over n, right? Okay, did you see any xy here? No, you only see p, m, and n, but they want in terms of xy. So do you agree I have to use information atas to help me? So I have to try my best to change this to log p base m ataupun log p base n. Kenapa? Because I want my answer in terms of xy, right? So I will try my best to change this to log p base m ataupun log p base log p base n, because then only my answer will have in terms of xy like that. Okay? So what is this information? It's in base m. This one is in base n. So the information is actually in different base, but the soalan is log base m over n, right? So we have a problem, because usually the information, if there's two information, both the information will be in same base, usually lah, most of the time lah, most of the time. So for example, like let's say this one is base 3, this one base 3. So confirm you will change this to base 3 also. You faham, right? Because you want to use the information yang atas, right? But this question, they want to make it harder a bit. This one is in base m, this one is in base n. So it's like you don't know which one to change, right? Some of you might say change to base m, or maybe some of you change to base n. But let me tell you, both also cannot. Both also cannot. If you change to base m, you will not get to the answer. You change to base n also, you will not get to the answer, right? Let me tell you what you should do instead. You should not change to base m and base n dulu. Don't do that first. Then instead, what you do, you change to base p. Okay. Okay. For those who's wondering, like, sir, why change to base p? It's not the. I thought you always say like log the base has to be same, right? Have to be same base. Okay. So if you change to base p, then it's like it's not same with the log base here also. Okay. I'll tell you now why. It's because when I change to base p, then the m over n later I can make it into separate log already, because the m over n will be placed at the bottom later, and then I can use the law of logarithm to separate the m over n, become log m base p minus log n base p, and then only I change to base m base n. Okay, okay, it's okay. I'll show you now. So the formula to change base is like this. You letak log, and then the log value you put it atas, the log base you put it bawah, and then for the base you put whatever base you want. So I already decide I want to change to base p, right? And there's a reason why I change to base p. Okay, the information is not in base p, but why I change to base p? Because log pp I know is 1, and look at this, log p m over n, single log divide. So I can use the law of logarithm. And what's the law of logarithm? Single log divide, when you pecahkan, it will become separate log minus. So log pm minus log pn. And now only you change to the same base with the information. Because now you have no problem already, because you see 1 over, okay, log m base p. Which one you will change? Log mp. This one is base p. So you will change to base m or base n. You fikir logic, mesti yang ada m you will change to base m, and then yang ada n you will change to base n, because then only you have the chance to cut. Because when it's log n, it's you can cut jadi satu. Okay, you don't tell me this one you change to base n, this one you change to base m. Hey, come on lah, don't do that. Okay, Like you figure logic also, you know why cannot, right? Mesti lah yang ada M you change to this, yang ini change to this, right? But just now it's hard to decide because it's like, yeah, the M over N is together, right? So that's why I change to base P. I separate it into two terms. Now I can just do it separately. This one I change to the this base. This one I change to this base. So for this one log MP, I'll change to log base M. Okay, log base M, because you have M here. So later the M, the value log value M, I'll write up here. The P I'll write here, and then you can see the log P base M. I can sub with the X later, and then this one can cut. Okay, this one is log base P, but if I want my answer to be X, to be in terms of, if I want my answer to be in terms of XY, I need to make sure it's either in terms of M or N. The log base has to be M or N, but now it's base P, so I will change to base N. Sir, why not you change this? Hey, imagine you change to base M, like you become atas tak boleh buat apa, bawah pun tak boleh buat apa. Okay. Okay, bawah can lah, but the atas you cannot cut. So you should change to base N. Okay, because you change to base N, then only you can see the N. I write here, P I write here. Then only you can cut. Okay. Then only you can simplify it. All right. I don't have enough space. I write here. Oh, I write here. So equal 1 over, okay, the log mm is 1, and then over log p base m, that's the x. So put like this. Okay, I think I should put bracket already because it's like tiga tingkat already. So minus, okay, open another bracket, log nn is 1, and then log p base n, as you can see, is y, so like that. Okay, but don't stop here lah, come on. You can still simplify this. So how do you simplify this? You will change this into a single fraction, but the 1 over I will leave it first. So for the 1 over, I will actually write like this. Yeah, the over, the divide, I'll write like this, and then I will open a big bracket. And what I will do with this 1 over x, so here is 1 over x minus 1 over y, and then I'll try to make this into a single fraction. So 1 divide, okay, when you want to combine two fraction into one fraction, and if tengah-tengah minus or plus, you have to make the denominator same first. Means you kena samakan dia punya bawah. So how do you samakan? This one is over x over y. So you can take this one times y times y. This one is times x times x. And kenapa saya buat macam tu? Because I want the bawah to be same x, y. And then atas you left with y times 1, which is y minus 1 times x is x. Right? Okay, now that this is already a single fraction, now we can look at the 1 divide here. So 1 divide y minus x over xy, it means 1 times xy over y minus x. So this bahagi actually you can change to times, but you have to terbalikkan this thing lah. You have to flip this upside down. So it becomes 1 times xy, which is just xy, and then over 1 minus x. So the answer is this, xy over y minus x. Okay, that's all. Sudah siap. Okay, let's move on. Number 6. This one is from 4, chapter 3. It's called system of equation. Okay, solve the following simultaneous equation by using method of substitution and or elimination. It means they never specific cakap which method, so you can use both, like either one can also, both also can. But of course, if they mention one specific method, then you have to follow that method. But this one they said both also can, so you just do whichever you like. Okay, let's look at the equation and see which method is better. Okay, this one is 2x plus 3y minus 2z equals 6. And then this one and this one. Okay, usually when we decide, when I decide, I will always look at the coefficient of x. Okay, I will take out x, 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 y, 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 z, 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 like that. So let's look at the x here. The coefficient is 2, -3, -4. Okay, semua tak sama. What about the y coefficient? 3, +1, -5. Semua tak sama. What about the z? -2, 4, -6. Semua tak sama. So personally, I won't do the penghapusan. Okay, actually can also lah. You want to do penghapusan can also. But let me tell you why I never do elimination is because elimination you have to make sure, if let's say you want to hapus x, then you have to make sure the x kali is same. So maybe this one have to times 3, this one have to times 2, because you want it to be at 6, 6, like that. Like that. Can also, can also. I never say cannot, can also. But for me personally, I will not do elimination. I will do substitution instead. Okay, because I go through all the coefficient, it's like everything not same. So I feel like substitution would be much more easy for this case. So what I will do substitution, and substitution punya cara is like you try to single kan you punya x or y or z. You jadikan x single or y single or z single, mana-mana boleh lah. But I will not start from equation 1. I will start from equation 2 and I will jadikan y single. Because if I start from equation 2 and jadikan y single, I will not have any fraction. Okay? Because imagine you start from here and you find x. It's like, yeah, there will be fraction because it's like something over 2. It is not also over 3, over -2. Eh? That's why I decide to start from 2 and find y. Okay? So I write here from equation 2, I find y. Okay? Yeah, because when I do it like that, there will be no fraction. So the -3x pindah dulu jadi 3x plus 4z pindah jadi minus, and then -7. Let's call this equation 4. And then what happens to the 4? It will sub into the other two equation. Because this 4 actually comes from 2, right? So what happens if you start from 2? You will sub into 1 and 3 lah. So I write here sub 4 into 1. And then I will do, and then the other one is sub 4 into 3. Okay, like that. Okay. Hey, you don't go and do sub 4 into 2. No, no, no. Hey, you cannot sub back into dear sendiri one. You cannot. 4 actually come from 2. If you sub 4 into 2, later you get 0 equals 0. Then it's wrong. You cannot sub into yourself. You cannot sub into yourself. You have to sub to other people. Okay, now let's sub. Okay, 4 into 1 means saya punya mata kena tengok 1. So let's tengok 1. 2x plus 3y minus 2z. Let's write that down. 2x plus 3. Okay, but for the y later, you have to open a bracket. Okay, minus 2z equals -6. Okay, why here open bracket? Because the y sudah diganti dengan 3x minus 4z minus 7. Okay, now we can do this, but I'll do it later. I want to write this one first. Sub 4 into 3. Okay, this one kena tengok 3 lah. So -4x, and later the y will be y kena ganti. So y have to open bracket, minus 6z equals 4. And then for the y, I sub this 3x minus 4z minus 7. Okay, now let's expand everything and find out our new equation. Okay, all right, so this is 2x plus 3 times 3x is 9x. 3 times -4 is -12z minus 3 times 7, 21 minus 2z equals -6. Can use calculator to help you. 2x plus 9x, 11x. Okay, z dengan z boleh buat. -12 minus 2 is -14z. And then number dengan number boleh buat, but I will pindah this over there first. So -6 plus 21 is +15. All right, this is your new equation 5, right? And this is your only equation with two unknowns so far. All the equation before all got three unknowns. This is the only one with two unknowns, right? So I just need another equation from here. And if I, because this equation will have two unknowns also, then only I take equation 5 and equation 6, and then I do the elimination method or substitution again. Then I will get the value for x or z already, either one. Then I can slowly substitute back into the equation atas, and then I get my x, y, z. All right, -4x minus this one, you have to times inside, you have to expand. 5 times 3, 15. -5 times -4, negative times negative, positive. 5 times 4, 20, and then z. -5 times -7, okay, negative, positive. 5 times 7, 35, minus 6z equals 4. Okay, so you can use your calculator to help you. All right, now what? X dengan X boleh buat, Z dengan Z boleh buat, number dengan number boleh buat. So -4x plus -4x minus 15x, -19x, 20z minus 6z plus 14z, and then the number they are on different sides. So pindah sana jadi 4 minus 35, -31. Let's call this equation 6. Alright, now you have equation 5 and equation 6, and both these equations have two unknowns, x and z. So now I have to do the elimination substitution one more time, right? So tell me, is it better to use elimination or substitution? I told you how I decide, right? I always look at the coefficient, okay? I don't just choose blindly, okay? Unless the soalan got mentioned, have to use one of the method. But this one, they say both also can, right? So now I will tell you how I decide. So I will look at the coefficient. So let's look at the coefficient x here. 11, this one, -19, tak sama. What about the coefficient of z? -14. Oh, positive 14. Wait. They are the same value. So I will do elimination method. Okay. So you realize I start with substitution, but for the stage 2, I do elimination instead. Because I realize this one. So that's how I usually decide. I look at all the coefficient. Okay. All right. So I will do elimination because it's easier. It's easier. It's easier. Okay. All right. So how do you eliminate? You take equation 6 and equation 5. You take equation 6 and equation 5, and then you eliminate lah. You try to eliminate z. Okay, but sir, the sign is not same lah. This one positive 15, negative 14. It's okay. Just make sure that the number same is enough already. If the sign is not same, kalau tanda tak sama, then you plus lah. Then you plus. Okay, tak apa. We write the equation 6 first. Negative 19x plus 14z equals negative 31. And then this one is 11x minus 14z equals 15. Okay, if you want to hapuskan the z, you want, and the tanda is tak sama, you have to plus. You have to plus. Okay, because this one the sign is not same, that's why it's plus. If you minus, you will get 14 minus minus. If you come 14 plus 14, 28 already. Then yeah, then tak ada hapus z already. Okay, so this one should be plus. Okay, negative 19 plus 11 is negative 8x. 14z plus minus become minus, so 14z minus 14z is 0 equals negative 31 plus 15 is negative. This one you can press calculator. Okay, 16. Yeah. Now I can find my x. Negative 16 divided by negative 8 is positive 2. Okay, finally I got my x. But I still need to find my y and z. So how do you find it? You slowly substitute back into the equation above. Okay, so I'll write here when x equals to 2. Okay, I'll just draw an arrow here. Alright, when x equals to 2, okay, you substitute dalam equation yang ada dua unknown dulu. You don't go and sub into equation 4 first, because equation 4 got 3 unknown. You want to sub into equation yang ada dua unknown. So either 5 or 6. Let's sub into equation 5. So it becomes 11x minus 14z equals 15. But x you sudah tahu 2. So 2 times 11 is 22 minus 14z equals 15. And I want to find z. So let's leave the 14z here. 22 go there. 15 minus 22 negative 7. Z equals negative 7 divided by negative 14. 1 over 2. Right? Now, finally, I have my exact, now I can find my y. So I will draw another arrow like this. When x equals 2, z equals 1 over 2, and now you sub into equation 4. Now you sub into equation yang ada 3 unknown, which is equation 4. So it becomes y equals 3x minus 4z minus 7. Okay, you don't terbalik masuk, make sure x is 2, z is 1 over 2. If you go and write 1 over 2 here, then wrong. Okay, press the whole thing, what you get? 6 minus 4 divided 2 is 2, so 4 minus 7, negative 3. Okay, done. Now you can write your final answer. So for your last baris, you write down x equals 2, comma, y equals negative 3, comma, z equals 1 over 2. Okay, this baris ni sangat penting tau. Yeah, this line, you have to write it. It's very important because this is where they give you the marks. Okay, so remember to always write your final answer in the, after you've done all your working, remember to always write down all your answers, because there's 3 different answers here. So you write down all answers in one line like that, so that they can give you marks here. All right, that's all. I'm done. Okay, number 7. Okay, this one is Janjang. So from 4, chapter 5. Yeah, the progression chapter. Okay, 7a. It is given that the first 3 terms of a sequence are 4, 8, 16. Okay, they got mentioned about first 3. So definitely this is T1, T2, T3. Okay, so you can actually get the A and the R. Because when I teach my student, I always tell them, if the question gives you progression, just find the A and R. Okay, even if the question never asks also, you can just find it, right? So the A is 4, and then the R I can see is 8 divided 4. Okay, wait, but they never say it's geometric, right? But you know it's geometric because 8 divided 4 and 16 divided 8 gives you the same value, right? Okay, tak apa, let's read the question first. Number 1, state the type of sequence and then give a reason for your answer. Nyatakan jenis jujukan, beri satu sebab untuk jawapan anda. Okay, I get it. So I don't think you need to find the A and R. They want you to write down which progression. Is it a arithmetic progression or geometric progression? But they call it sequence here. That's a bit weird, okay? Because it should be state the type of progression, right? But progression and sequence, I think the meaning is like similar. Okay, so later you will just write arithmetic sequence or geometric sequence lah. Okay, is it arithmetic or geometric? Actually, you know already it's geometric because I even mentioned it just now already. 4 how to become 8 times 2. So 8 also times 2, right? It cannot be arithmetic because here you plus 4, but 8 plus 4 is not, 8 plus 4 is 12, it's not 16. So it's not arithmetic. Okay, but how do you write the working? Yeah, how do you write the working? So you can find out the ratio. Yeah, you can find out the ratio. So to show the working, to get the full marks, you find out the ratio. So you try to take T3 divide T2 and T2 divide T1 to get the ratio. So I'll find the R. Okay, but you can find two possible R, right? So R1, R2. For the R1, I will do T2 divide T1, which is 8 divide 4, and it gives you 2. And then for the R2, I will do T3 divide T2, 16 divide 8, and then this one 2, right? And then I can just write since R1 equals to R2, or you can also write since T2 bahagi T1 equals T3 bahagi T2, can also. Therefore, comma, therefore, uh, state the type of sequence. So I can write since uh, okay, wait. I will write since R1 equals to R2, which equals to 2, and then comma, this sequence is a geometric progression. Okay, yeah, because they say state the type of sequence, right? So it's either arithmetic or geometric. So it's a geometric because it gives you the same ratio. Okay, if you try to find the difference, it's not the same. Yeah, the D is not same, so it can't be arithmetic. It has to be geometric. And they say give a reason, right? This is the reason. I already read the reason. The reason why geometric is because the R1 and the R2 is same value. Okay, okay, continue. Number 2, hence find the nth term of the sequence. Means want to find Tn lah. But they don't want you to give you the n. So it means later your answer will be in terms of n. Okay, what is the formula for Tn in geometric? AR power n minus 1. This is the formula. And I'm trying to use this formula now, but you don't have the n later, but it's okay. You have the AR. The A will be 4 because that's the first term. The R is 2. You find it just now. And then the n minus 1, the n tak ada. Okay. Yeah, they never give. But it's okay because you can leave your answer in terms of n. It's fine. All right. Now what you do? Okay, actually this one can simplify, right? So it becomes like an indices question already. So 4 times 2 power n minus 1. You realize this is like an indices question, right? So how do you do when you do indices log punya chapter? You always check whether dia punya base sama ke tak, and if you can change to same base, try to change to same base. And you can actually change this to same base because 4 can change to base 2. 2 power 2 is 4. And then multiply with 2 power n minus 1. And wait, when you have two same base, okay, kalau you ada dua nombor same base and you want to times the power, you can plus, right? Because you learn in law of indices, kalau base sama darab, power tambah. Okay. So 2 base 2 times base 2, you come up base 2 and then the power you plus, so 2 plus n minus 1. So you end up getting 2 power n, 2 minus 1, that's just gonna be positive 1. And I think this is already in the simplest form already. Yeah, I don't think there's anything you can do more. So this is the answer already. All right, that's it. Okay, let's do B now. Okay, I will do it here. All right, in an arithmetic progression, the second term is 5p minus 10. Okay, let's write down this information. All right, but you write it like this: t2 equals 5p minus 10. Okay, yeah, and then 10 term is 7 times the first term. Okay, how do you write this? 10 term, that's going to be t10, and then 7 times the first term a, so 7 times a, right? And then they say express small a in terms of small p. Okay, so how do you express small a in terms of small p? All right, I think I will use the Tn formula here and the Tn formula here, and let's see what happens. After we use the Tn formula and see what happens, see what unknown I have, right? And then only I slowly work towards the small a in terms of small p, right? Let's not think about too much in the future first. Let's just focus on what we have now. Nampak satu step, jalan satu step dulu. Alright, for the T2, okay, they already say it's arithmetic, so don't use the geometric formula. Arithmetic, Tn is a plus n minus 1d. So for the T2, it will be a plus 2 minus 1, which is 1d. Okay, and you don't have the AD, right? Both also don't have, but it's okay. Just write a plus d equals 5p minus 10. And I think this one you can't do anything much already because you have 3 unknowns, and yeah, you are stuck already. Okay, so I'm just gonna stop here, leave it, stand by dulu, and go to the other equation. Maybe you need help from the other equation. So what is T10? Use the same formula, a plus n minus 1d, but you don't have the a, and then n minus 1 is just 10 minus 1, so 9. D also you don't have, so just write d equals to 7a. Oh, I see something. A and a boleh buat. So why not you do it? So 7a minus a, you will get 6a. So you end up with 9d equals to 6a, right? But as you can see, they want the small a in terms of small p, right? But you look at this equation. This equation, Does it have small a and small p? No, it has small a and small d, right? Then what about the other equation? It has small a and small p, which is good, but ada satu benda kacau sini. This d is very kacau. I hate this d so much because I want small a in terms of p. So obviously this d needs to go. This d needs to go. So what you do? You find d from here and then you sub inside lah. Yeah, because when you do that, then the d will be, because when you find d from here, the d will be in terms of a, and when you sub inside then the whole equation only have a and p only. Then you can slowly pindah until the small a single, then you get the answer. You understand, right? So let's go. How to find these? 6a divided by 9, and 6 and 9 you can simplify. You can use calculator to help you get 2 over 3a. Okay, the a is duduk atas punya, so you can write in the middle. Okay, so now it becomes a plus, now the d, you open a bracket, and then this d is like you go in already. So it becomes 2a over 3 like that. Okay, okay, don't forget they want small a in terms of small p, right? So it means siapa yang kena single? A yang kena single. So what happens here? A plus 2a over 3. Okay, there's nothing before a means 1a, right? So what is 1a plus 2 over 3a? You can use calculator, tekan 1 plus 2 over 3, and they will give you 5 over 3a. Okay, equals to 5p minus 10. But it's not over yet. I want the small a to be single. So a will be, okay, the 5 over 3, how? You have to pindah, right? So the 3 duduk bawah. Duduk bawah means bahagi. Bahagi jadi darab. So 5p minus 10 darab 3. 3 times 5, 15p. And then negative 10 times 3, negative 30. Okay, the 5 I don't want to pindah first lah. Okay. Don't do fast. Because I'm scared like some of you cannot follow later. So let's not pindah the whole 5 over 3 straight away. Let's pindah 3 first. So times 3 times 3 you get this. And now you pindah the 5. So the 5 when you pindah dia jadi bahagi. So take both terms, divide by 5. 15p divided 5 is 3p. 30 divided 5 is 6. So that's the answer. A equals 3p minus 6. Done. That's what the question want, right? A in terms of p. This is A in terms of p. Okay. Soalan C. I'll do it here. A polygon with n sides is drawn such that the size of interior angle form an arithmetic progression. Oh. So it's polygon, but they never say how many sides. It could be 5 sides, it could be 7, it could be 8, it could be 9, it could be 10, I don't know. But the size of the interior angle form an arithmetic progression. So obviously it's not a regular polygon. Do you know what is regular polygon? So for example, this is what we call a regular pentagon. Pentagon because got 5 sides, and regular is when all the sides same length, and that's when all the angle would be same also, right? It's 108, 108, 108. Okay, the formula to find this angle is n minus 2 times 180. Okay, because when you do n minus 2 times 180, you will get the sum of all the interior angle, but you have to divide by 5 lah. Since all the angle is equal, you divide 5, you get this, right? That's how you find out, right? But it's very obvious that this polygon is not a regular, because they say the size of angle form an arithmetic progression. So the angle actually is not equal for all. I mean, like, because it's not regular, so it could be like something like that. Like, not, so all sides is not same length, so all the angle is also not same. That's why they say the angle form an arithmetic progression. Okay, it is given that the size of the largest interior angle is 5 times the size of the smallest interior angle A. Express A in terms of n. Okay, okay. So it forms an arithmetic progression. So in arithmetic progression, usually you have what? You have first term, second term, third term, until don't know how many term, right? Because we don't know how many sides. So given that the size of largest is 5 times the size of smallest. All right, let's start with the first term A. Because they say the smallest interior angle is A, right? So it means your T1, okay, the smallest angle inside the polygon is A, right? And then it will be T2, which I don't know berapa. And then T3 also I don't know. T3 also 4, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. And it will be until T berapa? Tn. And this n is actually the number of sides, right? So imagine if you have 5 terms here. That means you have 5 interior angle, right? And tell me what shape has 5 interior angle? Pentagon lah. Only a shape with 5 sides have 5 angle, right? If you have 6 sides, you have 6 angle. You have 7 sides, you have 7 angle. You have 8 sides, you have 8 angle. Logic, right? But since we don't know how many sides, it has n sides. That's why it's Tn, right? And I'm sure I have to find out the n later. Wait, no, no, no. They never asked you to find n, right? But they did mention that the size of the largest interior angle is 5 times the size of the smallest angle. So this one I can write 5a lah. Yeah, we can actually write 5a. Okay. So with that being said, I can now uh okay. What if I use the formula Tn equals 5a? I do like that. Tn equals 5a, and then I use the Tn formula here, which is a plus n minus 1d. Does it work? No, it doesn't, right? Because the n you don't know. I mean the a you can move here lah, but become 4a. But I need the d, right? I need the d, and they never give me the d, so I have to give up doing it like that. Yeah, give up, give up. Yeah, cannot use the Tn. This method tak jadi. So what other method you can do it? Oh, I see it already. You remember? I mean, you remember these are all what? The angle inside the interior angle, right? And tell me what would be the sum of interior angle. I just told you just now. The sum of interior angle formula is n minus 2 times 180. But you cannot divide by n. You can only divide by n afterwards when it's regular. Okay? Because when it's regular, all the angle will be equal size, right? But this one it's not regular. I already told you why just now. So this is the sum of interior angle. It means the Sn will be equal to this lah. Yeah, the sum of all the terms here, a plus the next one plus the next one until 5a will be this, right? So we will be using the Sn formula equals to this, right? But what is the Sn formula? Okay, in arithmetic progression, the Sn formula is this: n over 2, big bracket 2a plus n minus 1d, or Sn equals n over 2, big bracket a plus l. Yeah, there's two formulas for Sn. Okay, and usually the way I teach my student is like, okay, how you know which formula you want to use? Okay, usually the way I teach, I always tell them kalau ada D guna yang atas, kalau tak ada D guna yang bawah, because the formula atas kena ada D baru boleh, yang bawah tak payah D. And most of the time we'll use formula yang atas. Yeah, it's very rare we use the bawah punya formula. It's very rare. But for this question, you must use the bawah punya formula, and the reason is very simple, because you don't have the D. Because if you have the D, you can do it using the method I showed just now already, which is using the Tn formula equals 5a. But I show you just now, right? And it doesn't work. I even erase it just now, right? You can rewind back if you want to check it out. All right, so I think I have to use the power formula, and the reason is very simple, because I don't have the D. So I just put n over 2. But even though I don't have the n, I have the both the a and l. It's a and 5a. So good. Now I can find a in terms of n already. Because look at this whole equation. There's only two unknowns here, a and n, right? But of course, you have to pindah until the a single. Because a in terms of n means you want the a to be single. So how do you make it single? A plus 5a is 6a. 6a divided 2 is 3a times n is 3an equals to n minus 2 times 180. Okay, this one I think I'll just expand it. Yeah. So 180n minus 180 and 360. But you want the a to be single. So a left here. So what you pindah there is the 3n lah. But you have to take these two terms, divide by 3n. It means everything divide 3n lah. So divide 3n, this one divide 3n. Okay, n cut already. 180 divide 3 is 60. And then 360 divide 3n is just 360 divide 3 is 120. But you have to divide n lagi. So that's the answer. Okay. Wait. Betul lah. Yeah, that's the answer lah. Okay. Alright. There's a other way to write this. There's another way to write this. You can actually combine this into single fraction. So I'll just write here slash. If you want to make it single fraction, can also. But if you want to make it single fraction, the 60 have to times n lah. So it becomes like that, right? So this is also another way of writing it. It's this and this is the same thing. And there's also one way to write it, which is you factorize it. Factorize this. The 60, 120, you can factorize 60, and then you left n minus 2 over n like that, right? But I will not do like that actually, because if I do like that, what's the point? You cannot cut also. If can cut, then I will factorize and then cut with this lah. So it's like, yeah. But anyways, these three are all the same thing lah. Just trying to tell you that. Okay. So if you get something like that or something like that, don't panic. They are all the same. Okay. But personally, I will not leave my answer like this. I will explain it. Yeah. It's not recommended to leave your answer like that. Okay. It's not always explain it when you can. All right. So I think that's all. Wait, let me check. Yeah, yeah. So that's all lah. Okay, let's continue. Number 8. This one is Form 5, Chapter 6. It's called trigonometry, the trigonometric function chapter. Okay, let's read the question. Given that sine A equals to P over 2. Okay, I see the word sine. I immediately think about saw ka to. Saw is opposite hypotenuse. So this P is the opposite. This 2 is the hypotenuse. And then the next step, sine A plus B minus sine A minus B equals 2P. Whoa, this information is so scary. Sine A plus B minus sine A minus B. So high chance will be I might use the addition angle formula later, because I see like A plus B, A minus B, right? Whenever you see this, confirm you use the addition angle formula one. Okay, but let's leave it for now. Let's finish reading the whole thing first. Such that A and B are acute angle. Acute angle means quadrant 1. So they are both at the quadrant 1. Expressed in terms of P of cos A and sine B. Alright. This type of question you must draw. This type of question you must draw. And why you have to draw is because this type of question they ask for something angle, like something theta, right? So in trigonometric chapter, there's actually 4 types of question. The first type is this type of question where they ask you to find something theta like cos theta or sine theta or cosec theta, but they will give you information atas. Like for example, they give you like sine theta 3 or 5, but then they ask for tangent theta, right? So how are you supposed to do it, right? It's not possible. What you have to do is you have to draw it, and you have to read the question carefully and see which quadrant is the angle, and then draw accordingly, and then label the 3, 5, and then use Pythagoras theorem to find this. After finding this, then only it's possible to find the tangent. So the main thing here is you need to draw. Okay. Okay. Of course, this is the first type of question. Second type of question is when they ask you to find theta. It means they don't want you to find the cos theta, sin theta. They just want the theta. It means they want you have to tekan the shift sin, shift cos. And they want you have to check whether it's normal case or special case. Right? Okay, but and then the third type is the graph question, and then the fourth type is the proof question lah. But this one is the belongs to the first type of question, which is this one, and you have to draw. Okay, you have to draw. So when you draw, you will draw a cross. Okay, you will draw a cross, and after you draw a cross, you will label the information they give you, which is this one. Sine A is PO2, and they already say A is acute angle, so you know where to draw it. It's in the first quadrant. This is the line. And always target to X. Don't target to Y. So target to X and it will form a right angle triangle 90 degree here. Okay. So 90 degree here and this is a right angle. And the angle A is here. Okay. Okay, what if one day the angle is not quadrant 1, it's not acute angle, maybe it's quadrant 2 or 3 or 4. Then your angle will be like this already. Like let's say if it's in quadrant 2, then the angle will be like this already, right? And your angle is not inside the right angle already. So what happens? Okay, for case yang macam tu, you use the reference angle to label the information. And what is reference angle? Angle towards X. So it's here, right? If it's quadrant 3, like that, the quadrant 3 like that, right? Take the reference angle, which is here, angle towards X. Okay, and if it's quadrant 4, like that, it will be outside the right angle, right? Use this to label the reference angle. Okay. Okay, let's erase all this. Okay, this one the angle is already in quadrant 1, so we don't need to use reference angle. We just straight away go this A and then go to the opposite, right? P. So depan A, that's the opposite. So this opposite you have to write P, small p. And for the H, hypotenuse is 2. Hypotenuse is the side depan 90 degrees. So depan 90, this one is the 2. And then the remaining line is the adjacent, and you can find it by using Pythagoras theorem. And you should find it actually. You should find it actually, because if you don't find it later, you cannot do your AB. So you should find it. Okay, always it's always recommended to find the remaining side in the right angle triangle. If you have two of the side or two of the ratio, it's always recommended to find it. Even if the question never asks, also it's always recommended to find it. Let's find it now. Square root, bracket square, bracket square. Okay, this is 2, this is P. Okay, plus or minus? Minus, because you are not finding the longer side. You will only plus when you're finding the longer side. So you end up getting square root 4 minus P square. Alright, that's your adjacent. Okay, I remember there's another information here that I ignored just now. This one, right? And I said what? Confirm will be using the addition angle formula to do this later. Okay, but let's see what they want for A first. If you look at the soalan A, they ask to find cos A, right? And for the cos A, you can actually use this to do, because this one is for angle A. You just go here and then use the cos formula, right? But for B cannot lah, because for B they ask for sine angle B, and this is not angle B. This is angle A. So I think when I do B later, then I have to refer this yellow color thing already. Okay, but it's okay. Let's do A first. So they want to find cos A. This is quite easy. You just refer here. The cos A formula is adjacent over hypotenuse. Okay, but you always leave a space here. Okay, you always leave some space here. So what's the adjacent? Square root 4 minus p square over hypotenuse, it's 2. Right? Okay, why you have to leave some space here is to check whether it's positive or negative. Okay? So tell me, cos angle A is in first quadrant. So cos first quadrant, positive or negative? Positive, because in first quadrant, everything positive. So this one is positive. Right? But you have to check, because sometimes you might need to letak negative when it's like in other quadrant lah. So it's always a good habit to double check. Okay, now we can do B. Okay, B, they want to find sine B. And let me tell you, you cannot use this. You cannot use the diagram you draw to do this, because this is sine B. And the angle is B. This one is angle A. So it's not the same, right? So I'm sure I need to use this information. So I'm going to write down this information, but I will use the addition angle. And let me tell you which formula I will use. The addition angle for sine. And I already memorized the formula. The formula is sine A plus minus B equals to sine A cos B plus minus sine A sine B. That's the formula. Okay. But I will use this formula 2 times. One time for this, and then the second time for this. Right? Okay, so let's write down and see what happens. Okay, sine A plus B. So sine A plus B will be what? Sine A cos B. And then plus minus. This one wrong already. Why I write minus plus? Wrong, wrong, wrong. Okay, this one is plus minus sine A sine B. Okay. If it's cos A plus minus B, then baru dia akan jadi cos A cos B minus plus sine A sine B. Ayo, this one also I silap tulis already. Chunhao, wake up, wake up. Okay, sorry, sorry. Sine A cos B plus minus. Oh my god, oh my god. Oh my god, Chunhao. Cos A sine B. Sorry, sorry. Okay. Because it's like midnight now. So my brain is not functioning properly. It's like lewat malam now. Okay, okay, I'm back. Okay, sine A cos B plus minus cos A sine B. Okay, that's the formula, and this formula is given in the exam. So don't worry about it. You can just flip in front and then get it. But I always recommend students to hafal it lah. Okay, so what is sine A plus B? Sine A plus B would be sine A cos B, and if it's the plus minus, you will follow what they write here. If it's minus plus, then you do the opposite. So this one is plus minus, you will follow what they write here. So follow means you equal here plus, so you'll be plus also. And then cos A sine B, you just write cos A sine B. And then minus, okay, let's put a bracket. So the bracket is for this one. And then minus, and then open another bracket. This one is sine A minus B. So you use this formula again. Okay, and write everything inside the big bracket. So same formula, sine A minus B will be what? Sine A cos B. And then plus minus means you follow exactly what they write here. So minus. And then cos A sine B, cos A sine B, close the big bracket, equals to 2p. Okay. All right. What's next? Don't forget what I want to find. This is what I'm trying to find, sine B. And I can see there's a sine B here, right? But I think I have to open this bracket first. Yeah, because there's a minus here, right? So when you open this bracket, what happens is everything inside this bracket have to change sign, have to tukar tanda. And I can see something can potong already. Okay, sine A cos B plus cos A sine B. Okay, now this one when you open the bracket become minus. Okay, this one tukar tanda jadi sine A cos B. And this minus will become plus. Because negative times negative positive. And then cos A sine B equals 2p. Okay, and I realize this one and this one can cut. Sine A cos B minus sine A cos B. Yeah, you can potong. You can just anggap the sine A macam X and then the cos B macam Y. So it's like XY minus XY is just 0 lah. Then what about the cos A sine B plus cos A sine B? Okay, you can treat this as XY. Like cos A is X, sine B is Y. So it's like XY plus XY. So it's 2XY lah. So it's 2 cos A sine B equals to 2p. Right? But I want sine B. Yeah, you realize or not? I keep on looking at what I want. Yeah, because that's the final answer. So I don't want to do a lot and then I end up with something that I don't want, right? So always keep it in your head what you want to find. Okay, not just like you just do whatever step. So Make sure you know what you want to find. Okay, if you want to do Addmaths and you don't know what you want to find, how you supposed to get there, right? You need to know what you're trying to find. Okay, sine B is what I'm trying to find. So I can see this is sine B, right? And what about the cos A? Wait, cos A I have already just now. I can just sub the answer here. Square root 4 minus p square over 2. And later these two can cut. And then sine B equals to 2p. So these 2 and 2 can cut. Because when the 2 darab, you darab atas. And then atas bawah memang boleh potong. So now you have your sine B already. It will be 2p divide with the square root 4 minus p square. And that is the answer. Okay, that is the answer. Okay, I'm done. Sudah siap. Okay, number 9. Oh, what happened? Okay, I'm back. Okay, number 9. A. Diagram 6 shows the rectangle ABCD. Okay, rectangle, you need to know all the corner will be 90 and the opposite side sama panjang. So this is 5x minus 1 cm. This one also same. 2x cm. This one also same. Alright, everything is in cm. At an instant, the value of x changes from 3 to 3 plus p cm such that p is a small value. Okay, I know already which chapter. Form 5 chapter 2. Small change. Under the differentiation chapter, right? Pembezaan. How I know it is from this line. X changes from 3 to 3 plus p. It means this x, there's a change happening, and it's changed from 3 to 3 plus p. So what you can find now is you can find the delta x, the small change in x. You just take the new value minus the old value. 3 plus p minus 3, you get p, right? And they say such that p is a small value. Okay, this one not that important. Using differentiation, express in terms of p the small change in area at that instant. It means they want to find small change in a area. So small change is delta, and then area, I'll just use the big A to represent like that. Okay, this one is question mark. Okay, all right. How do you find the delta A? Okay, they already give you the delta x, right? So the formula you use when you do small change is dy dx almost equals to delta y delta x. But it's not always the, yx. Sometimes it's like uh, VR or depending on the question lah. And for this question, it will be dA dx because it's delta A delta x, right? So what I will write here, d okay, actually I need to leave some space. Okay, so I will write maybe down here. I write okay. I just do here. So dA over dx equals to what? Delta A over delta x. And then delta A, that is what you want to find at the end. Delta x p, you already have it because they already say can in terms of p, right? So what you have to find out is the dA dx. Okay. Okay, let me tell you why is it not dx dA. Yeah, why is it not dx dA? Why is it dA atas and then dx bawah? It's because A represents area, x represents uh okay, x is actually like part of the site, right? So your equation later will be A in terms of x. That is why it's A in terms of x. It's not x in terms of A. So what is your job now is to find the dA dx. But before finding dA dx, you need to have the equation. Because you gonna ada equation baru you boleh differentiate and then get the dA dx, right? But after differentiate, you have to sub the 3 lah, and then only you get the dx. Okay, how do you get the equation? So the equation confirm will be A in terms of x. And the A represents area, right? Area of this rectangle. So to find the area in terms of x punya equation, you just find the area of rectangle lah. So A equals to, how to find area? This one darab this one, right? So 2x times 5x, that would be 10x square. 2x times negative 1, it will be negative 2x. Okay? Because when you times, it will look like this. And then you will multiply it like that. So that's why you end up getting this. Okay, now you can differentiate. It will be dA dx, right? So when you differentiate, you will take power, multiply with the number in front here, and then power minus 1. 2 times 10, 20, power minus 1, 20x. Same thing here, power is 1, 1 times negative 2 is negative 2, and then power minus 1, so it becomes x power 1 minus 1, x power 0. But the x power 0 you don't have to write, because x power 0 is 1. So 2 times 1, you can still get 2. So that's the answer. Okay, you don't take this sub inside first. Don't write it first. You sub with the x first. And the x, you will sub with the original value. Or you can say the old value. Always the old value. If you want to know which one is the old value, you tengok dia cakap from siapa. Kalau from 3, then 3 is the old value. Okay, 20 times 3, 60 minus 2, 58. And then the 58 goes here. And now, okay, I don't have enough space, so I'll just continue here. Now your delta A is 58 times P. So that's your answer, delta A, 58P. And let's write the unit cm square. Yeah, because they say express in terms of P in cm square, right? Yeah, that's the answer. Let's put a bracket. Okay, that is the delta A or the small change in area. Okay, this is only worth 3 marks. Uh, Let's let's continue. Okay, I'm doing 9B. Let's go. Diagram 7 shows two lots of land P and Q. So this is a land. Okay, very weird looking land. Huh? Both lots will be planted completely with the same type of grass. So it's land like tanah, and they want to plant grass, same type of grass. So let's look at the first land. So X meter. So this one X meter also, and then X minus 1 here because it's a rectangle. For this one is a trapezium, so 3y meter, 5y meter, 38 minus 8y meter. Okay, everything is in meter. Okay, everything is in meter so far. And this one is a trapezium land. Okay, let's see what else. Diagram, I mean, it is given that perimeter of P is 54. If the perimeter is 54 meter, that means, that means x minus 1 plus x minus 1 plus x is 54 lah. So let's write down the first equation. X minus 1 times 2 plus x times 2 equals to 54. Understand, right? This one plus this x minus 1 times 2 plus times 2. Okay. 2x minus 2 plus 2x equals 54 because this one you expand. And then 2x plus 2x is 4x. And I can actually find the x. Minus 2 hantar jadi 56. And then x equals to 14 meters, right? Hey, but I actually haven't finished reading the question yet, right? But when I see something like that, I realize I can do it. I just do it already. So if later the question asks for x, I don't need to find it. I already find it. And then also the area of Q is A meter square. So this one is Q, and they want you to use the big A to represent area. Okay, what's the area of Q? Trapezium. So 1 over 2 multiply with the sum of parallel sides, which is 3y plus 5y, and then multiply with the perpendicular distance between the two parallel sides. So 38 minus 8y. Okay. Okay, we can simplify this a bit. 3y plus 5y is 8y. Divide 2 is 4y. Multiply with 38 minus 8y. And we can expand this. Right? And just take note, I actually haven't finished reading the question yet. But I'm just doing it. Okay. Because I'm sure this one later confirm useful. Right? Because I'm doing differentiation. What do you think you will do for differentiation chapter? Mesti you gonna differentiate. So obviously this one is better to expand. Because before you differentiate, kalau boleh expand, kena expand dulu. Alright, 152y minus 32y square. Okay, so that is your equation for A in terms of y. Okay, now let's see what they want for question 1. Using differentiation, find the value of y such that A is maximum. Alright, the keyword here is maximum. Okay, when you see this word maximum, minimum, or turning point, and if it's a differentiation question, what you will do? dy dx equals 0. But for this case, it's not dy dx. It's dA dy. If you want to know differentiate siapa equals 0, you tengok dia cakap siapa maximum. If they say A maximum, then you differentiate A equals 0. If they say L maximum, you differentiate L equals 0. If they say C minimum, you differentiate the C equation equals 0. Okay. So this one they say A is maximum. So you have to differentiate the A equation. So there's only one A equation here, this one. So the question number 1 punya working actually start from here. But I already do it halfway already. So now we just do dA dy equals 0. Okay, because it's A in terms of y. Okay, differentiate this, you will get 152. Differentiate this, 2 times 32 is 64, and then power minus 1y equals 0. Now you can find your y. Okay, try to make it positive by moving the 64 here, and then y equals to 152 divided 64. And I can write in decimal for significant figure 2.375 meters. So what they want? The value of y such that A is maximum. So that's the answer lah. That's the value of y lah. Right? Okay, what if I change the question? I said find the value of big A such that A is maximum. Okay, if I change the question to find A, you will also do it like that. But after you reach here, you have to take this one sub back into the original equation to find A. Okay, if they want to find A lah, but this one they ask for y, so siap already. Okay, what about second question? Hence determine what? The lot that will be planted with the most grass, justify your answer. So they're asking you which tanah P or tanah Q, which one can plant more grass. Ayo, whichever that has the higher area lah. Yang mana area lagi banyak, itulah tanah yang boleh tanam lebih rumput, lebih grass. So you find the area of P and then find the area of Q. Okay, let's find the area of P. Okay. So the area of P will be x times x minus 1, but the x is 14, right? So yeah, it's good that I did this by myself just now. Okay. All right, so x times x minus 1, which is 14, multiply with 14 minus 1. Okay. And then you will get 14 times 13, and you will get 182. And write the unit meter square. Okay, let's do for area of Q. Okay, of course you can do take the y 2.375 and then sub inside, sub inside, sub inside, and then you do again. But there's a faster way to do it. Straight away take this, right? 152y minus 32y squared. But for the y, you sub the 2.375. Let me tell you why you can sub the 2.375. Because 2.375 is the value of y such that a is maximum. So that means the maximum area here will be this, but sub with the 2.375 lah. Okay, press all this in your calculator and you will get 180 point. Okay, wait 2.375. Wait. Okay, you will get 180.5. Yeah. Okay, so you just write the area here 180.5 meters square. Okay, so the soalan asked us to determine the lot that will be planted with most grass. So which one gives you more grass? P lah, because it has higher area. So I'll just write here dot dot dot. Okay, what do we call this? Lot. Okay, what is it here? Two lot of land P and Q. So I will just write lot P. Okay, lot P. Determine the uh because uh because because the area is more lah. It has higher area. Okay? So I can write area of P, comma 182 meter square is higher or is more than area of Q, which is 180.5 meter square. Yeah, I think I'll just write like that for the reason, for the justification. So lot P is will be planted with more grass because area of P 182 is more than the area of Q 185 0.5. Okay, that's all. Okay, number 10. All right, this one is from 5 chapter 3. Yeah, integration. Okay, I will do my A working up here. So let's read the question. Given that d over dx 1 over x squared plus 1 equals gx. Okay, what this means? It means differentiate this will give you gx. Yeah, it means when you differentiate 1 over x squared plus 1 with respect to x, you will get gx. That's what it means. Okay, but I want to find integrate 3gx plus 1 dx. Okay, for this, I will not find the integrate 3gx plus 1 first. I will try to convert my information. I will try to convert this information so that it becomes integrate first. Because the information they give us here is differentiate something equals something. But the one they ask us to find is like integrate something. So you can convert this information so that it becomes integrate. And how you do that is pindah the d and pindah the dx. Okay, when the d stands for differentiate. So when you pindah, dia akan jadi integrate. And this is the integrate symbol. And then you write the gx and the dx duduk bawah kan. So when you pindah, dia akan jadi duduk atas. So integrate gx dx will give you the 1 over x squared plus 1. Right? So now with this, you can use this to help you find this. Right? So how do you do it? Okay, first, you can use the property of definite integral. There is 5 property of definite integral, and one of it is when you have two terms inside the definite integral, you can separate it. You can pecahkan. So when you pecah, it becomes integrate, and then write the first term dx plus the second term integrate 1 dx like that. Okay, this one is plus is because here is plus. If this one is minus, this one will be minus also. Okay. Alright, after you reach here, what you can do? Okay, you have the answer for integrate gx dx. So this one is integrate 3 gx dx. So the 3 you can write it in front here because the properties of definite integrals memang boleh buat macam tu. Okay, but it has to be times lah baru boleh. So this one is 3 times gx. So kalau darab memang boleh letak luar. Kalau darab baru boleh. If tambah tolak cannot. Okay, so it becomes 3gx dx like that. And kenapa saya buat macam tu? Because I want to sub this with the 1 over x squared plus 1, and I will get 3 over x squared plus 1. But I still have to plus, plus, plus. Okay, this integrate 1 dx, I cannot use this information to help me because this one is integrate gx, this one is integrate 1. So it's not the same thing. But I can integrate myself because I know how to integrate myself. This is 1 is a number, right? So what happens when you integrate a number? You just letak x saja kan. So what is integrate 1? So it's just 1x like that lah. But this is indefinite integral. What is indefinite integral? Means dia tak ada number dekat sini. So bila dia tak ada number dekat sini you have to write plus c. Kalau ada number, after integrate you have to sub the number inside and then tengah-tengah minus, right? But kalau tak ada number, we call it kameran tak tentu ataupun indefinite integral. Indefinite integral, kameran tak tentu, you have to put the plus c. Okay. But if there's number here, then it's called definite integral, and those yang tu tak payah letak c. Alright, so here is x plus c, here is also x plus c, and that's the answer. Yep. Alright. Okay, of course you want to make it single fraction can also, but the x have to times with x squared plus 1 lah, and then you get 3 plus x power 3 plus x over x squared plus 1 and then plus c beside. Can also lah, same thing, same. Okay, so that's all. Let's do B. Alright, diagram 8 shows the graph x equals fy. Let's label this. So this curve is actually x equals fy. That's the equation of the graph. Okay, it is given that area of the shaded region is 9 over 2 units square. Where's the shaded region? Here, here, here. Oh, so it's this shaded region all add together is 9 over 2 units square. Okay, I think I should write this down. AOSR equals 9 over 2 units square. AOSR means area of shaded region. Now, they says integrate from 0 to h fy dy is equivalent to integrate k to m fy dy, which is 3 over 2. Okay, let's find out where is the region of this. Okay, which region are they talking about here? So from 0 to h, and then integrate towards y-axis. So fy is the equation of curve. But they want you to integrate towards y-axis because dy, and then from 0 to h. So this is the y-axis, and from 0 to h, it's here and here. And you can see the area between the curve and the y-axis from 0 to h is talking about this, right? And that is 3 over 2. This area right here is 3 over 2. Okay, yeah, because it says here this equals to this equals 3 over, right? Okay, this one is also 3 over 2. So let's find out where is this. Integrate from k to m, same equation fy, which is the equation of graph, and then towards y-axis dy. So the area, I mean the region will be in between curve and the y-axis, but from k to m. So equation, I mean the region is between curve and the y-axis, but from k to m. So this is curve, this is k to m. In between is talking about this, so it's 3 over 2. So wait, I can find this area, right? Because they say area of shaded region is 9 over 2. So the 9 over 2 is actually these three regions add together. So to find this area is just 9 over 2 minus 3 over 2 minus 3 over 2. And I don't even care if the question never asked me to find it. I'll just find it, whatever. So 9 over 2 minus 3 over 2 is 6 over 2 minus 3 over 2, 3 over 2. Oh, so this is 3 over 2 also. It means all these three shape is same size. Alright, now only I see what the question wants. Integrate from 0 to k fy dy. So integrate from 0 to k fy dy. Okay, I want to find the integration. Okay, so how to do? Let's find out where's the region first lah. Okay, the region will be from where to where? From 0 to k, and then in between curve and y-axis, 0 to k. So it's talking about this and this, right? But you cannot take 3 over 2 plus 3 over 2. I'll tell you why. Because 3 over 2 is the area. Is the area answer. If you take 3 over 2 plus 3 over 2, you get 6 over 2, and that will be the area answer. But they never ask for area. They ask for the integration, right? And let me tell you, when you integrate towards y-axis, the right side will give you a positive answer. And if the shaded region is on the left side, you will get negative answer. That means when you integrate this, when you want to integrate to find this, you will get a negative answer actually. Tapi area tak ada negative, right? So you will modulus it to become positive. Okay. So actually the area, if you're asking me the area for this is 3 over 2, you are right. But if you're asking me the integration from h to k, that will be negative 3 over 2. Okay, so let me show you how I will do this instead. I will pecahkan this into two integral, because integrate k to 0 is actually this region plus this region. So it's like integrate 0 to h x dy, which is fy dy, plus with integrate h to k and then x dy also. But x is fy, right? So fy dy like that. And then for the integrate 0 h fy dy, I can just tiru here. It's positive 3 over 2, right? Okay, or you want to just look at this, I label here also already. Plus with, okay, integrate from h to k fy dy, which is here. But it will not be 3 over 2, it will be negative 3 over 2. And the reason is very simple, because when you integrate towards y-axis and your shaded region is on the left side, you will end up getting negative. But sir, why here don't have negative? Because that's the area lah. Because that's the area mana ada negative. So when we write the area, we will not write the negative. But when you just trying to integrate this, you will get negative. Okay, 3 over 2 plus minus become minus, so 3 over 2 minus 3 over 2 is 0. So that's the answer. Okay, soalan B. Integrate h to k x dy plus integrate k to m 5 over 4 fy dy. Okay, I think I'll do this. Okay, I'll just do it here. Okay, let's do it now. So question 2. Okay, integrate h to k x dy. What's the answer? Where is it? H to k. So let's go here. Integrate h to k x dy. And then we all know x is fy, right? So this is 3 over 2 lah. Okay lah, I malas want to write the question again lah. Straight away write 3 over 2. But it's negative 3 over 2. Yeah, because from h to k fy dy is this one, right? Okay, the area is 3 over 2. But when you do the integration like that, and without the modulus, it will come out as negative 1. Because the shaded region is on the left side of the y-axis, and you are using y-axis to integrate. Plus with, okay, integrate 4k to m 5 over 4 fy dy. Okay, the 5 over 4 later memang boleh letak depan one, but let's check where is integrate k to m between curve and y-axis. K to m between curve and it's 3 over 2 lah. So I think at the 5 over 4 I place it, I will letak sini, letak depan. Why you can letak depan is because the relation here is times, hubungan dia darab. So times with what? Integrate 4, k to m fy dy. But from k to m fy dy is 3 over 2. So this one I just erase and write bracket 3 over 2 terus. And then now you tekan calculator lah. Okay, I will do this one first. Atas darab atas, bawah darab bawah. 5 times 3, 15, 4 times 2, 8. And then this one you can press calculator. Times 4 times 4, negative 12 plus 15, 3 over 8. So that is the answer. Okay, I'm done. Alright, let's do number 11. Okay, what chapter is this? Okay, I see n plus 1. Okay, this is from 5 chapter 4. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's the permutation combination chapter. Okay, let's read. There are n plus 1 points on the circumference of a circle. Okay, let's just draw it out. Okay, it's always recommended to draw it out because it makes us imagine the question better, and it helps in the understanding, right? Because when you draw it, you understand it more, and you can imagine it more vividly. Okay, there are n plus 1 points on the circumference of the circle. Okay, that means you have some amount of points here. I don't know how many, but let's just assume there's 4 points for now. Okay, on the circumference. If each point is connected by a straight line to all of the other points, there are 4n straight lines formed. Wait, I don't understand. Each point is connected by a straight line. So it's like that. Is it what they mean? To all of the other points. Each point is connected by a straight line to all of the other points. Oh, okay. So it's like you join a straight line like that. Something like that. There are 4n straight lines formed. Okay. So the number of straight lines formed will be 4n. And then polygons can be formed by connecting points on the circumference of circle. Yeah, I agree. Because when you join, yeah, you might get like a triangle or like quadrilateral. Yeah. And then find the total number of polygons that are possible. Okay, first of all, we know that it's not 4 points, right? This one is just I just demonstrate saja. There's like n plus 1 point, right? But they said when you join using a straight line, you will get 4n. That means n plus 1 c2 is equals to 4n. Yeah, because I don't know how many points, okay, but when you want to connect a straight line, it requires 2 points to join like that. Then only you get a straight line, right? So you have to choose 2 points from the n plus 1 points, But they said the number of straight line form is 4n, so that's why it's like that. Okay, and you can use the NCR formula now. Okay, but sir, what about this? Polygon can be formed from the circumference. Okay, that one later. That one later. That one later first. Because now you must focus on this and use the NCR formula. So the NCR formula is n factorial over r factorial n minus r factorial. And you can use this formula here. And I'm not sure whether you can get anything from that, but let's hope that we can find the n. Okay. So n factorial will be n plus 1. Yeah, because n is the number atas. So the number atas is n plus 1 factorial over, okay, over the formula is r factorial. R is the number bawah. Okay, for my soalan here, the number bawah is 2. So 2 factorial. Bracket n minus r factorial. So bracket here is n minus r, which is atas punya number tolak bawah punya number. So atas tolak bawah n plus 1 minus 2 equals 4n, of course. Okay, okay, n plus 1 factorial, I'll just leave it. And then 2 factorial is just 2. And then n plus 1 minus 2, you get n minus 1. Because 1 minus 2, negative 1, equals to 4n. Okay, this one actually you can simplify. Okay, you can simplify. You can cut actually. But you have to do something first. Right? So you learned before, n factorial is equals to n times n minus 1 factorial. Yeah, because n factorial is like n times n minus 1 times n minus 2 n times n minus 3 until you sampai 1. Until you reach 1. So what you can do is you can take the n plus 1 factorial and write it as what? You can write it as n plus 1 times the number before, which is n factorial. Okay, but you can also change the n factorial again using this to n minus 1 factorial. And kenapa saya buat macam tu? Because can potong dengan bawah. So the n I change again to what? N factorial I change again to n times n minus 1 factorial. Because then I can check potong the n minus 1 factorial. Then you left with this, right? So how do you continue? N plus 1 times n, which is n square plus n over 2 equals 4n. But the 2 I can bring it here. So 2 times 4n is 8n, right? So how do you find n from here? Okay, I see square. When I see square, it means it's a quadratic. Quadratic means I have to pindah everything on one side equals 0, and you will get two answer. So n square, 1n minus 8n is negative 7n. Because you pindah sini equals 0, and you can factorize this. But you don't need the calculator to factorize. Actually, you want to use calculator can also. But if there are other dua terms sahaja, I usually teach my student don't use calculator. This one you just do it manually yourself. So how do you factorize this? Okay, there's two terms here, n square and 7n. And both these two terms can divide by what? They both can divide by n. So you will factorize out the n. Or you can say divide both terms by n lah. Just take it out like that. Okay, n square divide n, you left with n. Negative 7n divide negative 7. When you now you have something times something equals 0. So you can take the first bracket equals 0, and then the second bracket equals 0. N minus 7 equals 0. So your n is 7. But you have to reject the n here. Yeah, reject. Okay. And the reason being is because, yeah, the n, if the n is 0, it become math error already. Yeah, because if n is 0, 0 plus 1 is 1. So it become 1C2 already. How can you, takkanlah sini ada satu point dekat circumference, right? And you want to join line. How can you join line when you only have 1 point? You need to have at least 2 point. And if you can't 1C2, the calculator will give you math error. Okay. Yeah, because the number atas has to be bigger than the number bawah always, right? So the n cannot be 0. So 7 is the only answer that makes sense here. So that is the n. But the soalan actually never asks you to find n. The soalan asks you to find number of polygons that are possible. So I haven't finished yet. So let's okay this one, let's keep reading. Polygon can be formed by connecting points on the circumference. So now you know I have 7 points, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's put another 3 points here to make it 7. Okay, of course you can join to get some polygon, right? Polygon is like a shape. Okay, it can be 3 sides, like a triangle like that, or maybe 4 sides. Okay, is this also a polygon, right? Or 5 sides also possible. Okay, is 7 side possible? If 7 side I cannot join like that already, because later it's like, yeah, it will intersect like that. So if you want it to join all points, then it has to be like that lah, like that, like that, like that. Yeah, it's possible. It's possible to get a polygon with 7 sides also. Okay? So they say polygon can be formed by connecting points on the circumference of the circle. Find the total number of polygons that are possible. Alright, but they never say what polygon. Is it like a pentagon or triangle or quadrilateral or hexagon or heptagon? They never say that. They just say total number of polygon. So I have to find the number of triangle that can be formed, plus with the number of quadrilateral, plus with the pentagon, hexagon, heptagon, like that. So out of the 7 point, I can choose 3 points. And when I do 7C3, I am finding the number of triangle that can be formed. I'm finding the number of triangle that can be formed because three sides. Yeah, because I'm choosing any 3 points to join them. And then I can also do 7C4. 7C4 would be the number of ways to form the quadrilateral because you choose 4 points from 7 points to join them, right? Or you can also form pentagon. From 7 points, choose 5 points to connect. You end up getting pentagon. Or you can be 7C6, and also, of course, you can also be 7C7. But 7C7 will be one. Yeah, there's only one way to draw the heptagon. Heptagon is 7 side. Okay? And here you cannot times, you have to plus actually. Yeah. So the number of ways to form triangle plus with the number of ways to join quadrilateral with and pentagon and hexagon and heptagon. And when you tambah all these, you get the answers. Right? Okay, you tekan this, you get 99. So the total number of polygons that is possible that can be formed from the 7 points is 99. Okay, so that's it. Okay, let's do B. All right. A dormitory consists of 5 bunk beds. Okay. Each bunk bed has a top bed and a bottom bed. Table 1 shows the weights of 10 boys to be placed in the dormitory. Students A and B. And then students A and B are twins. So you have how many students? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 students. And all have different weights. Okay. Some is like 66 kg, some is 40 kg. Okay. So there's 5 bunk bed. Is it enough for all students? So bunk bed got top and bottom, right? So let's draw a bed. Okay, I'm not gonna draw like a nice bed lah. Just imagine this bed. Okay, but there's 5. So what? Let's separate this. Okay, and then 2, 3, and then 4, and then 5. Okay, so this is the top, and then this is the bottom. Okay, table 1 shows the weight of 10 boys to be placed in dorm. Student A and B are twins. Okay, so I think I'll just do it like this. So I remember these two guys is twins. Okay. All right, let's do A. I mean the question 1. Find the number of different ways to arrange. Okay, I see the keyword arrange. So definitely you use permutation because arrange means the order is important. The order is important. Okay. Yeah. So let's do number 1. There is no restriction. Okay, no restriction means uh tak ada syarat lah. It means the twins together also can, tak together also can, separate also can, mix also can, whatever. Just treat the 10 people like 10 different things, arranging into 10 different slot. So 10 students into 10 different slot, that's 10p10. Or you can say 10 factorial. Okay, the answer is 3628 800. Okay. Okay, that is the answer for question 1. For question 2, find number of different ways to arrange if students who weigh more than 50 kilo are placed in the bottom bed and the twins are placed in the same bunk bed. Oh, got condition already. Okay, so for a student that weigh more than 50 kg, you must sleep at the bottom bed because takut nanti you sleep at the top bed, then the bed patah, then you fall down, you lay on the bottom guy, then go hospital because you're too heavy already. Okay, so makes sense, huh? The heavier guy, I mean more than 50, have to sleep at the lower bed. Okay, so let's find out who's more than 50, yeah? So let's use like red color to circle it. So student B more than 50 and student E 66, G 61, H 56. So ada lagi? Tak ada dah. Okay, there's only 4 students who weigh more than 50 kg, but there's 5 bottom bed. Okay, so how to do it? And also they say the twin are placed in the same bunk bed. Okay, I think I have to do the for the twin first. Yeah, because the twin has yeah, the let's find out the number of ways for the twin first, right? Because the twin have to be same bunk bed, huh? But you can see the twin is just AB, right? And one of the twin is 49 kg, the other is B 52. That means the twin is confirmed will be uh confirm. Let's say this will for the twin confirm the B has to be bawah already, and then A atas already. Okay. So for this it will be 1P1, 1P1 like that. Okay. But tak semestinya the AB sleep in this bunk bed. It can also be here, right? So later at the end, you have to times 5. Yeah, later in the end, you have to times 5. Okay. Wait, actually, there's two way to do this. Okay, I'll explain the second way later. So, assuming that the twin sleep in this bunk bed, so the B has to be sit at bawah, A duduk atas. Okay, why you cannot do 2B2? Why cannot do 2B2? Because B has to be bawah. It cannot be 2P2 because 2P2 means like, oh, B can be atas but cannot because B has to be bawah because B weighs more than 50, right? And then multiply with, okay, this one tak payah tengok ni. Tak payah tengok ni. So I just focus on the rest here. Okay, I can see got 3 more students that is way more than 50 kg. So this 3 has to be at the lower lah. Okay, but there's 4, how to say, there's 4 slots. Okay, and you have 3 student that is way more than 50, so we can do 4P3 here. Okay, so it's like 4, you can choose another 3 to go in, right? And let's assume the 3 goes in here already. Okay, so this one cut, this one ignore already, right? So you left with how many slot? You left with let's use black color, 1 2 3 4 5 slot, and they are to be filled with 5 students. 1 2 3 4 5, right? So it's 5P5 lah, because this remaining 5 slot tak ada condition already. There's no other condition there's no condition for this 5, so it's just do normally like 5P5. So that is the answer. But actually I told you already, this one have times 5. Okay, yeah, I have to times 5. Do you know why? Because when you do like that, you are finding for 1P1 times 1P1 times 4P3 like that. But this is when you're assuming when the twins sleep in the first bunk bed. But dia tak cakap mesti ada satu specific bunk bed. Faham? Like the twin can also sleep in like the AB, like here also can, right? But you don't have to do again all this. Like you don't have to do again, right? So okay, how can I explain this? So it's like, imagine there's like another case, right? So another case is like AB here, right? And then another case is when the AB is here. Another case is when AB is here, AB is here, right? But you don't have to do everything. Just do one and then times 5 lah. Then you get all the number of ways already. So that's why times 5, right? Okay, let me press calculator. Times 4P3 times 5. Okay, my calculator give me 14400. Okay, 14400. Okay, let me explain using another way. Yeah, there's another method to do this. So I write here or. Okay, another way to do this is like this. So you remember just now they say more than 50 place in the bottom, right? So bottom bed got how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But there's how many students that is way more than 50? Only 4, right? So you can do 5 before. Because got 5 bottom bed, but this 4 has to be arranged in this 5 bottom bed. So it's 5 before, right? But assuming that this 4 bed is already filled in with all this, right? All these 4 people. So you left with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But wait, the A has a special condition because this 4 already masuk sini, right? But the A has to be always above B. The A has to be always above B. That means the A has to be, if let's say B is here, the A has to be here. If let's say the B is here, then the A has to be here. If the B is here, A has to be here. So the A has to follow wherever the B go. But we don't know where the B go, right? Okay. That's why when you do 5 before, you are finding the number of way to arrange this 4 into the 5 bit, right? Into the 5 bit. So, but only 4 of it will be filled, right? And then the A will just follow where the B sleep at the bottom bit. So it will be 1P1 for the A. And then you multiply with, okay, now you left with how many? So imagine the A sleep already, and then this 4 is also filled in already. So you left with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this 5 have to be arranged with the remaining C, D, F, I, J. C, D, F, I, J. So it's 5B5. And trust me, you tekan this, you will get same answer. Let me just quickly press and see. 5 before times. Yeah, correct. So you can do it yang macam ni also, right? Okay, I need to explain. I need to tell you something. For those who buy this green color book, the green color book actually got jawapan. And I need to tell you that the book answer is wrong. Yeah, the book answer actually did it like this. They did it like this. They never times five. And yeah, I feel like I need to tell you the answer in the book is wrong. Because some of you, you might, how to say, maybe you don't know this, right? You don't know this, so I feel like I have a need to tell you that the book answer is wrong. Okay, yeah, because you need to times five, because the bunk bed can be this bunk bed, this bunk bed, this bunk bed, this bunk bed. The twin, bukan tak semestinya kena sleep at one specific bunk bed. Okay, it can be other bunk bed also. Okay, that's why I have to times five, right? Okay, that's all. Let's continue. Number 12. All right. Diagram 9 shows 6 letters cards used in a binomial experiment. So they give a diagram 9, CERDIK. Okay, at first it looked like a permutation combination question, because permutation combination, they usually give you these letters, ask you to arrange or maybe select those kind of things, right? But after reading this, I know already I see the word binomial, and this word only appears in Form 5, Chapter 5, the probability distribution chapter. Dalam bahasa Melayu is taburan kebarangkalian. And and in this chapter there is actually two parts. First part you learn binomial, second part you learn normal distribution. Normal distribution you have to use the jadwal Z score table one, but this one is binomial, so you don't have to use the Z score table. You just have to learn use the four formulas you learn in binomial. And there's four formulas you learn in binomial. Under binomial, I'll tell you now. The first formula you learn is the probability formula. The formula looks like this: NCX p power x q power n minus x. Second formula is mean, NP. The variance formula is NPQ, and then standard deviation is square root NPQ. So these are the four formulas that possible you will use later for this question. Okay, so this is the four formulas you learn under binomial. All right, let's read what it says here. A card will be chosen randomly in each Bernoulli trial. Okay, Bernoulli and binomial is the same thing. Okay, yeah, Bernoulli distribution is just another name for binomial distribution. Okay, all right, the card is then replaced. Okay, what's the meaning? It means the CERDIK, I shuffle, and then I blindly take one card out. After I take one, I replace it back. I replace it back before the second selection. Yeah. Wait, a card will be chosen randomly in each. Yeah. So yeah, because you do it n amount of times, right? So like every trial, every time you do this experiment, you take out one. But when you do it for the next time, the second time you will put it back, and then take for the second time. That means your probability will not change for every trial. Yeah, the probability will be same. In other words, it's independent or dependent. It's independent, because the probability is the same for every try. Every time you take out, the probability will not change, because you put it back. The card, after you take it, after you choose one, you put it back. Okay, let's do A. If there are 120 trials, okay, this one is confirmed is the n already. Okay, so when you do binomial, you see, doesn't matter which formula you use, you need the NPQ, right? So you always write down the NPQ. So the N is 120. It means dia buat eksperimen ni 120 kali. Then some of you might ask, but sir, there's only 6 cards. How can you do 120 times? There's only 6 cards. Okay, it's possible because you put it back, I said the card, after you take, choose one, and then you put it back, and then shuffle again, and then take one again. So it's possible to do it for 120 times. Okay, find the expected value of the number of consonant letter that will be chosen. That means your P, probability of success, will be probability of consonant. Yeah, because it means the probability of success. So it means like when you get a consonant card, that's when this experiment is considered success, because they want to find number of consonant letter. So my P, probability of success, will be probability of consonant. So let's count how many consonant card we have here. So consonant is everything except A, B, C, D, A, E, I, O, U. So C, R, D, K. So you can see the probability of consonant is 4 over 6, right? But 4 over 6, when you simplify, you get 2 over 3. Then the probability of failure will be 2 over 6, which is 1 over 3. Okay. All right. After you have this, now they say find expected value of the number of consonant that will be chosen. So the probability of getting consonant is 2 over 3 if you choose one time. Okay. But you do this experiment for 120 times, and since they are independent, it means the card is replaced. So the probability for the second time would be same also, 2 over 3 also, right? So what you would do is you just take 2 over 3 times 120. In other words, you are finding the mean. You're actually finding the mean. Okay? Yeah, because you're finding the mean of consonant letter chosen. Okay? That's why you're using this formula n times p. So that's your mean symbol. And then you just do this, darab, you'll get the answer. Alright, it would be 80. So that is the answer. Okay. Okay, let's continue. B, they says if there are 5 trials, okay, so n is 5, okay, yeah, because you only do try 5 times. But let's see what is the probability of success. Find probability that the number of consonant letter card chosen is more than the number of vowel letter cards chosen. So your probability of success, will it be the same as last question, 2 or 3? Yes or no? Yes. You can make your P same. Okay, it means your probability of success is still getting the consonant, and then probability of failure is still 1 over 3. Okay, but this time they want to find probably that the number of consonant card chosen is more than the number of vowel. So this one confirm you will use the probability formula, because they already say find probability, right? So confirm you use the first formula, and whenever we use the first formula, I will always tell my students to write this baris, the big X. And this big X baris, you will write down all the possibility values of all the possibility lah. So out of the 5 try, maybe 0 success, or maybe 1 success, 2, 3, 4, 5. What is the meaning of 5-0? It means out of the 5 try, 0 time I success, 0 time I get consonant. It means 5 kali pun I just dapat the vowel. Or maybe 1 time success. It means I do this experiment 5 kali, but I only get 1 consonant. Okay, but if I get 1 consonant means I get how many vowel? 4 vowel, right? Yeah, so I'll use red color to write. If I get 1 consonant, it means four time I fail, 4 time I get vowel. Okay, what if I get 2 time success? Out of the 5 try, 2 time only I get consonant. It means 3 vowel. And if it's 3 consonant, it will be 2 vowel, 4 consonant, 1 vowel, 5. Okay, what is 5-5? 5-5 means 5 kali pun saya success. 5 kali pun I dapat a consonant letter. Then that means 0 time I get vowel. And if I get 0 time consonant, that means 5 vowel. You understand, right? So the red color one is for vowel, and then the black color one is for consonant. Right? And now let's see what they want. They want the probability that the consonant cut is more than the vowel. So which one do you think I have to do? Px equals, all right, which one is the consonant more than vowel? Consonant, okay, when consonant is 0, vowel is 5. No, this one is not accepted. One consonant, 4 vowel, ini boleh lah. Ini tak boleh, sorry, tak boleh. Consonant more than vowel tak boleh, ini pun tak boleh. So you have to take this one, this one, this one. So you just have to calculate px equals 3 plus px equals 4 plus px equals 5. Okay, yeah. Because when you calculate px equals 3, you are already calculating for 3 consonant, 2 vowel punya probability. Understand? And when you do px equals 4, you're already calculating for 4 consonant with 1 vowel punya probability. And same with the 5-0 lah. 5 consonant, 0 vowel probability. So you just have to use the probability formula 3 times. Okay. So how the formula works? Alright, you have to masuk the formula NCX. So the N is 5, so 5C3. And then bracket, sini masuk P, 2 over 3, sini masuk 1 over 3 Q. And then the power here will always same with the number down here. And then this power will be atas tolak atas, 5 minus 3. Plus the next one, same thing. This time is 5C4. And then the probability of success, 2 over 3. Failure, 1 over 3. This number same with down here, 4. And then 5 minus 4, power 1. Okay, last one, 5C5, bracket. This is 2 over 3. This is 1 over 3. Okay, the power here, same with number down here, 5. So 5 minus 5 is 0. Okay, now everything just press calculator lah. Okay, what is 5C3 times 2 over 3 power 3 times 1 over 3 power 2? 0.3292. Okay, just use your calculator to help you. Okay, this one also you can press your calculator and you will get 0.3292 also. Oh, it's the same. And then for the last one, okay, 5C5 you don't have to press because this is 1. 1 over 3 power 0 is also 1. So you just have to press 2 over 3 power 5. So you get 0.1317. Okay, let me just double check quickly with my calculator. Because I don't want to write the wrong answer for you. Okay, this is 0.1317. Yes, correct. Now answer tambah 0.3292 and then plus 0.3292. Okay, my calculator give me 0.7901. So that should be the answer. And the soalan asked for probability, right? Yeah, that's the probability. Okay, that's all. Okay, now we masuk bahagian B. Bahagian B says bahagian ini mengandungi 3 soalan, jawab 2 soalan. Okay, I will jawab all 3 questions. Okay, whenever I do the Addmaths paper 1, I always, in the bahagian B, I always do all of it. Okay, so let's go. 13. Diagram 10 shows PQR on a Cartesian plane. Alright, this looks like a vector question. So Form 4, Chapter 8, vector. Okay, they give us 3 points. Point P, 4H, 2H. It means dia tak mau bagi nilai H. Point Q, 0, negative H. H pun tak bagi. And then point R, okay, ini dia bagi complete. Negative 8, negative 31 over 5. Right? Okay, now they say A1, find vector PQ in terms of H. Let me tell you what is this. This is vector and it's coordinate vector. It's coordinate vector. Yeah, because they give you Cartesian plane, right? And if it's a vector question in the Cartesian plane, definitely it's the coordinate vector question. Do you know what's coordinate vector? The IJ punya, like IJ, yang tu lah. Okay, so they want to find vector PQ in terms of H. Okay, this is quite simple. It means you just have to find from P to Q, and the arrow have to go to Q lah because it's P to Q, and you just have to find out. They say in terms of H, right? But the truth is, it will be in terms of IJ also. Yeah. So you need to find out P to Q, how many I and how many J. And you always start with the horizontal movement. Yeah, because you always write I first, right? So don't do like that. That's wrong. So you have to count horizontal first. So sini berapa, sini berapa. It means you have to find out the distance here and the distance here. Okay. So how do you find it? Okay, I will write something I plus something J. And then for the I, it will be the horizontal distance here, right? But since you are finding P to Q, you will take the Q punya X coordinate minus P punya X coordinate to get the distance here. Okay, so it will be 0 minus 4H. Please don't take 4H minus 0, it will be wrong. If you take 4H minus 0, that will be vector QP already, then wrongly. So why you take 0 minus 4H? Because the arrow is pointing to Q, it's P to Q. So you have to take the Q coordinate minus the P coordinate, right? But you take the X coordinate minus first, because you are trying to get the I punya number. For J, for the vertical movement J, then only you take the Y coordinate minus. But you will take Q minus P also, not P minus Q. So negative H minus 2H. This is the correct way. So you end up getting negative 4HI. Negative H minus 3H is negative 3HJ. Okay. So I think this is what it means by in terms of H lah. Okay. But actually the IJ also have one. Okay. So that is the answer. Okay. Oh, by the way, you can also write in the matrix form like that. Negative 4H, negative 3H. This one and this one is the same, right? Yeah. This one is like when you do translation, they always give it in this form, right? Like atas is the horizontal movement, bawah is the vertical movement, and then if atas negative means ke kiri, bawah negative means ke bawah, like that. Yeah. So actually both also same thing. Okay, let's do number 2. Given that vector PQ is a unit vector, find the value of H. Where is vector PQ? Here, right? And they say it's a unit vector. Find the value of H. All right, let's write down the vector PQ first. So vector PQ, I just find it just now. It's negative 4HI minus 3HJ, right? But they say this is a unit vector. And do you know what is unit vector? Okay, unit vector, there's a formula. It's 1 over magnitude times with the vector in terms of IJ. Right? But you have to find the magnitude first lah. But let me tell you something. You don't have to find the unit vector, right? If they want you to find unit vector, then only you use this formula. You find the magnitude and then you sub bawah and then masukkan the vector in terms of IJ and then you bahagi magnitude like that. If they ask you to find unit vector, but this soalan actually tells you the PQ is already the unit vector. It means this is already the unit vector. They're just asking you to find value of H. Okay. So what's the meaning of unit vector? Unit vector means when the magnitude is equals to 1. Okay, so for example, if is uh this is a vector 3a, right? And then this is vector a. Okay, and I'm telling you now the magnitude of this is 1, right? So we can say that this is the unit vector of this line, right? So what is the meaning of unit vector? It means unit vector is when the vector is same direction as the other vector, but the magnitude is 1. Repeat one more time. Unit vector, when I say this is the unit vector of this, it means this vector is the same direction as this, but the magnitude is 1. Okay, so same direction, it means they are parallel lah. Only the magnitude is 1. So what you can do for the PQ vector, since they already say it's a unit vector, it means the magnitude of this thing will be 1. So what you do is just do magnitude equals to 1. That's how you do it. Okay, so what you do now is you use the magnitude. How you find magnitude is you buka square root and then bracket square plus bracket square, and then inside the bracket you put in the number before ij. So before I is negative 4h, before j is negative 3h. Okay, and when you do this, you will get the I. Right? You'll get the I later. So first I'll pindah the square root first. Square root hantar jadi square. 1 square is 1. Negative 4h square is just 16h square. But then negative 4, when you square, the negative become positively. And then h square. Plus with negative 3 square is positive 9. H square is just h square. 16h square plus 9h square, 25h square equals to 1. Now you get h square equals to 1 over 25. But when you find h, you have to pindah the square jadi square root. And when you square root, you need to know there's a plus minus sign. Because there's two answers. Okay, what is square root 1 over 25? If you use your calculator help you, you'll get h equals 1 over 5 or h equals negative 1 over 5. But you actually have to reject the negative answer. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why you have to reject. Now, imagine your h is negative. It would be wrong. You know why? Just look at your diagram, you know already. Okay, let me just erase all this. Okay, just look at your diagram. Is it possible for h to be negative? So h is negative 1 over 5. So it becomes 2 times negative 1 over 5, which is negative 2 over 5. So you are saying that the y coordinate here is negative. The x coordinate also negative because 4 times negative 1 over 5 is negative also. But it doesn't make sense. This should be positive, positive. That is why we reject the negative answer. Okay, but there are times where you have to take both answer, right? But not this case. Okay, so if you want to know whether the question can reject both, reject one of the answer or not, you try to sub back inside the question and see, right? So if you sub back for this question, you will realize, yeah, you can't take this. So this is the only answer that makes sense, right? That means now we have point P punya coordinate already lah. It will be 4 times 1 over 5, which is 4 over 5, and then this will be 2 over 5, and we also have the point Q already. 0 negative h is negative 1 over 5. So logic, right? Ya lah, because this one bawah kosong mah. So logic lah kalau dia negative. Imagine if I use the negative 1 over 5, then it become negative 1 over 5 become positive already. Then it's like tak ada logic already. Okay, so that's why we reject the negative answer. And the reason why I write it like this also is because maybe I might use it for the next question later, right? Yeah, because we haven't finished yet. There's still a question B. So we might need the coordinate. We might need the answer from here to do B later. So let's do B now. Hence, by using vectors, show that the point P, Q, R are collinear. Okay, this question is really famous in, yeah, they always ask this in the vector question in the trial paper. Even in my last Selangor, I did, last set I did the Selangor set 2 2024 trial. Same also, they ask this also. Alright, my explanation will always be the same. I will always say the same thing. When they want you to prove 3 points are collinear, you will always do what? You must take the, okay, let me erase this. Okay, this is from the last question. So you want to prove that these 3 points are collinear, you will take any two vectors from this line and then equal letak lambda. Okay, so when you want to prove that PQR are collinear, first you need to prove that any two vectors along this line are parallel first. It can be PQ and QR parallel, because if you prove that PQ and QR parallel, then you can prove they are collinear already, because Q is the common point, and then if they are both parallel, definitely they are segaris. Collinear means segaris. But you can also take PQ, PR. Yeah, tak semestinya PQ and QR vector. You can take any two vector, or maybe PR, QR can also. Just choose any two vectors along this line. So which vector you want to choose? Okay, if you are smart, you will take PQ. You know why? Because you already have the PQ vector. Because you do it here already. So PQ vector is negative 4h, negative 3h, right? Okay, let's write in terms of ij. Okay, but I already find out the h is 1 over 5. So why not I sub inside? I'll get negative 4 over 5 I. Yeah, because h is positive 1 over 5, right? So I just sub inside. And then negative 3 times h, negative 3 times 1 over 5, negative 3 over 5j. So that is my vector PQ. But I need another vector. So PQ is this vector right here. And I need another one. You can find QR also can, or PR also can. Okay, both also works. Okay, let's find vector PR lah. But this one I have to find myself. Okay, so I find vector PR. Okay lah, don't want lah, I find QR lah. Actually, PR also can. Can also. You will end up getting the same answer. I mean, the ratio will be different later lah, but the lambda will come out different lah. But the answer will still be same. Yeah, you still can show that they are collinear if you find PR. Okay, let's find QR. Okay, same method. How you find QR? It will be something I, something J. But since it's Q to R, you have to take R minus Q or Q minus R. Mestilah R minus Q, because it's Q to R. So you have to take R minus Q. And when you take the X coordinate minus X coordinate, you write at the I. When you take Y coordinate minus Y coordinate, you write at the J. Negative 31 over 5 minus negative H will be plus H. Right? So now you can find your vector QR. And then later you can take PQ equals to lambda QR. Okay, because and then you find lambda, and if if lambda on both sides is same, then they are parallel. And after they are parallel, then we can say they are collinear already. Okay, negative 8i is here, and then here you can h I already have it, it's 1/5, right? So we should sub that with 1/5. Okay, and then you can press calculator. Negative 31 plus 1 is just negative 30 divided 5, negative 6. So the plus have to erase lah, because it becomes minus already, and then 6j like that. Okay, now that we have PQ and QR, now we can take PQ equals to QR, and then tengah-tengah letak lambda, right? Because we are trying to prove that they are parallel, show that they are parallel. And why we have to letak lambda is because the lambda represents the ratio. Yeah, lambda represents the ratio value for PQ QR. That's why we have to letak lambda. So now we have to letak vector PQ sini, letak vector QR sini, and then ambil lambda darab masuk, and then we compare, we banding. After we compare banding, we will get lambda, and we will get lambda on both sides. And if both the lambda same, then we can say it's parallel. If it's not same, then it's not parallel. Okay, PQ is negative 4/5i minus 3/5j. And then lambda QR, it will be negative 8i minus 6j. And then the lambda you tarap masuk dapat negative 8 lambda I minus 6 lambda j. Okay, I forgot the lambda. So lambda j, and then this will be negative 4/5i minus 3/5j. Okay, I can see tengah-tengah sini dia tulis equal. It means the left hand side vector and the right hand side vector is the same. That means you can compare them. So you just compare the coefficient of I with the coefficient of I like that. So negative 4/5 equals to negative 8 lambda. And then later I can find my lambda from here. And then compare the coefficient of j also. Okay, and on the other side is negative 6 lambda. So when you compare, you get negative 3/5 equals to negative 6 lambda. Okay, okay, now you just find lambda. So negative divide negative is positive. 4/5 divide 8, you get, okay, let's press calculator. 4 divide 5 divide 8. Okay, 1/10. So this is lambda 1/10. But you have to make sure you find here also. Okay, and you have to, and if this lambda value is same with this, then baru kita boleh cakap dia parallel. These two vector parallel. Okay, 3/5 divide 6 is also 1/10. Yeah. And then the negative divide negative become positive. So as you can see, the lambda here both same, right? So if the lambda here both same, that means PQ equals to what? Vector PQ is really equals to 1/10 QR, meaning the PQ is parallel to QR, and 1/10 is the ratio. Okay, the PQ ratio is 1, QR ratio is 10. So if we go to the diagram, what it means? It means the PQ ratio here is 1, the PR is 10. Here is 9 lah, because 10 minus 1 is 9, right? Yeah, that's what it means. Okay, but the soalan asks you to do what? They want you to show that they are collinear. It means segaris. So tell me, when 3 points segaris, what happens? It means when I potong this line, if I take this line, I remove it, I place it beside these two lines, must be parallel, right? And since we sudah berjaya prove that PQQR is parallel, that means automatic they are collinear already. So how do we write it? So we write since vector PQ and QR are parallel, because I already proved it by finding the lambda on both sides and both the lambda values same. So we can say since PQ is parallel to QR, and then the proof for them being parallel is this. This is the proof of them being parallel. So since PQ is parallel to QR, and also Q is the common point. Yeah, because Q is the common point for both vectors, right? That means these 3 points, they will chantom together to become a straight line. So we can say points PQ and R comes from the same line are collinear. Collinear means they come from the same line lah. Segaris. Okay, this is how I would do it. Okay, this is how I would write it in the exam. Okay, so that's the answer. Okay, let's move on. Okay, number 14. This one I tengok diagram I sudah tahu is from 4 chapter 1. Okay, the fungsi function. Let's read. Diagram 11.1 shows the relation of 3 sets. So we can see got set A, set B, set C. And then set A is X, and then the arrow going out to B, to set B, and then they put F here, X minus 2. Okay, I see some information in the diagram, and I want to write out all the information. Okay, so the first information I see is this. X, when you do F, you get X minus 2. So it means Fx equals to X minus 2. Okay, and also this arrow also we can write some information. So this arrow is going down like this, and it says that when X minus 2 is the object, and then when you do function g, you will get X squared plus 1. That's what it means. And there's one more, which is X, but they never give the function here. right? They never write function here. But when the object is x, the image is x squared plus 1. Okay, but they never give the function here, right? But actually, we know what's the function here. This function is actually, if you want to go from here to here, you go here to here to here first. It means you do function f followed by function g. That means this is function gf, not fg, is gf. Because you do f first. You see? You do f first and then only you do g. So if you write fg, that is wrong already. Because if you write fg, it means you do g first. Because you always do the inside punya function dulu, right? That's why you have to write gf. It means the first f you have to write it belakang, and then the g you have to write it like on the left of f. Okay? So the first function is f. That's why f is inside. G is on the outside. Okay, because g comes after. Okay, now we have all this already. Oh, so we can also write the function here lah, x. So it will be okay. I don't have enough space. Okay, I'll just write down here lah, whatever. So g f x equals to x squared plus 1. Understand, right? Because when x is the object, the image is x squared plus 1 and it's under function gf. So that's why gf x squared plus 1, right? Okay, now what we do? Now we do a. So a says state gfx. That's the answer lah. I already read it already. Gfx equals x squared plus 1. Done. Okay. Okay, soalan B. B says B1 determine f inverse x, hence find gx. Okay, the soalan want me to cari dua benda. First cari f inverse dulu. So how do you find f inverse x? Okay, you already have the fx. So use this to find f inverse. Okay, how do you find f inverse? Okay, usually the method I teach my student is let both sides equals to y. So let the fx equals to y, and then the other side x minus 2 also equals to y, and then cari x, cari x. Okay, so your x here will be the f go there. Okay, when you pindah f, it will become f inverse. Okay, so your x is actually the f inverse y. Okay, so what you do is you find x from here, because x is your f inverse. So when you find x from here, you get y plus 2, and this x is f inverse y, right? So that means your f inverse y is y plus 2. But they're asking for f inverse x. Okay, very simple. Just change the y to x. So x plus 2. And that is the answer. Okay, but the soalan once more, they ask you to after find f inverse, find gx lagi. Okay, when you find gx, I think you cannot use this information, because this information is for fx. You want to find gx, I think you have to use this information. The gx minus 2 equal x squared plus 1. So I will write here gx equals to x squared plus silap. This one is gx minus 2 equals to x squared plus 1. Okay, how do you find the gx? Okay, you kena tengok betul-betul. Ini bukan gx, ini g bracket x minus 2. That means it's not the same with gx. So you actually don't have the function g. Betul tak? You don't have the function g. So there is like no other way to find gx. So what you have to do when you nampak case yang macam ni, when they give you g bracket x minus 2, but then ask you to cari gx, it means the inside bracket is not bracket x, but they want to find back the x. Okay, when you jumpa case yang macam ni, what you have to do is you have to let y equals to bracket and then cari x single. So let y equals x minus 2 and then cari x single, which is y plus 2 lah. Because if y equals x minus 2, then your x single will be y plus 2. And then you rewrite the whole thing, but this time you don't write g bracket, you write gy, because you already let y equals to the bracket already. So it becomes gy equals to x squared plus 1, and then the x is also replaced with y plus 2, right? And this method, we use it also for the which type of question. Sometimes when the question give you the composite function, and then give you the single function, but if they give dalam, then you kena let. If tak bagi dalam, tak payah let, right? So sometimes if they give dalam, like let's say give you gx and then ask you to find fx, you will also do this method. You will also do this method, because when this one is question mark. So when they give you the fgx and gx, what happens is that this gx you can sub inside here, but after you sub inside, you realize that you can't continue because you don't have the f, right? So yeah, you will do this also. Let y equals to the bracket and do this also. Okay, okay, but this is I'm just mentioning that this method is same with the method we do here. Okay, all right. So after you reach here, you just expand this and then you get the gy lah. Okay, how you expand this? You take y square and then y times 2 times 2. So y times 2 is 2y times 2 is 4y, and then 2 square is 4 and then plus 1. So you get y square plus 4y plus 5. But this one is gy, they're asking for gx, so just change to x square plus 4x plus 5, right? Okay, that's how you do it. That's the answer. Okay, since the answer asking for f inverse and gx, so I will write one more baris and then write both my answer in the last line like that. F inverse x equals to x plus 2. And then I just put a comma like that. Gx x squared plus 4x plus 5. Okay. Okay, not enough space. Let me make some space. Okay. So this is how I would write it. And they should give you full mark here lah. Right? Okay, so that's it, B1. Now let's scroll down. Okay, B2. Diagram 11.2 shows part of the graph y equals gx. So this one is y equals gx. Okay, I can see that they give you a point here, 0p, but they never give us the p, so it doesn't really help us. It's just, they just tell you that this is the y-intercept, it's p, but I don't know what's the value. And then they say sketch the graph of g inverse x on diagram 11.2. Oh, they never asked me to find p, they just asked me to sketch the g inverse graph. So there will be no working here. It would just be I just have to draw here. All right, this is gx. How do you draw the g inverse x? Okay, we all know g inverse x is what? Okay, let's say this is the object, this is the image, right? So this is your function, this is your function, this is your function, right? And let's call this function f. So if the function f is going this way, then the f inverse will be going in the opposite direction, the other way like that, right? It means your image actually become object, and your object actually become image. Okay, in other words, your object image got reversed. Your object image got reversed when you do f inverse. Okay, that's what it means by inverse. You reversing the image and object. In other words, you're reversing the x coordinate and y coordinate of all these points, right? But we don't have so many points to reverse. They only give us one point, which is 0p. But I do know when I reverse this, I'll get p0. And even though I don't know what's p, but I know p is a positive number. So when I reflect, this point will be here already. And what do you think will happen to this point? It will be here. No, 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 no. It will be like positive something, positive something. So it will be like around here lah. And it will just keep on going like that. And it will look something like this, right? And let me tell you, this graph and the G inverse graph will be the reflection of each other on the y equals x line. Okay, so let me draw out the line. So the y equals x line is this line right here. Okay, it will be exactly 45 degree, and this is the y equals x line, and you're basically reflecting the gx using this line, and you will end up getting the shape of the graph like that. Okay, this is the g inverse x graph. Okay, let me mention a little more details here. So the 0p, when you reflect, it becomes p0 because you are reversing the image object. So object this coordinate become p0 already, right? Same with all the points here lah, it will reflect. And if I draw a line joining these two corresponding points, it will be exactly 90 degree, and this distance here will be same. Okay, same with this point reflect down here, right? Even though I don't know the coordinate, but if I join it, it should be 90 degree, and it will be sama panjang sama panjang. Okay, yeah, for all the corresponding point, it will be like that, because that's how reflection works, right? When you reflect, the distance between the object image should be, yeah, the distance between the two corresponding point will always be equal. Even when you reach here also, distance here mesti sama. Okay, so that's why the shape is like that. Move, this one is move away from the line, this one also slowly move away from the line. Okay, okay, hopefully you understand. Oh, this is both 4 marks. Huh? 4 marks for the drawing. Oh, no, 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 no. This 4 marks is for the B2 and B1. Okay, okay, now it makes sense. Because B1, I did it up here already, right? Okay, okay. So the B1 and the drawing is both 4 marks. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so that's all. Now it's time to do C already. Okay, C, I think I'll do it down here. So they want to find F2, F3, F2x, F3x, F4x, hence state F power 75x. Okay, in order to find all this, we need Fx. So we have Fx is x minus 2, right? So let's go here and write down Fx, x minus 2. Okay, now I need to find out F2x, F3x, and then F4x, and then the ultimate one is the F75x. Okay, let's find F2x first. Okay, all right, F2x, how you want to do it? Just find F big bracket Fx, dua kali lah. That's what it means by F power 2. It means FF. And then you kena buat dalam dulu. So the outside F leave it first. Dalam dulu Fx. So ganti x minus 2 like that. And then now kita kena tengok luar lah. So when we tengok luar, dekat luar sini F kan, it means you have to take the bracket x minus 2, you have to put inside the Fx punya x. You have to take the x minus 2, put inside or substitute inside the Fx punya x. So what is the Fx punya x? So the Fx is x minus 2. So x minus 2, the x minus 2, the x kena ganti dengan x minus 2. So it becomes x minus 4. So that's it. Now do F3x. F3 means F 3 kali. So you can write it like this. F and then big bracket F2 like that. Okay. Okay, the reason why I write F2 like that is because I already have the F2x from here. right? So that's why I can just tiru from this answer and then just write F and then buat dalam dulu and then the F2x answer is x minus 4 like that. Just write it. Okay. And then same step, take the x minus 4, ganti masuk dalam fx punya x. So your fx is x minus 2 tapi you punya fx punya x kena tukar jadi x minus 4. So you get x minus 6. Last one, f4x. I will do f and then big bracket f3x because I already have the f3x from my last working. Of course, some student they want to do f2 can also, same thing. Okay, but I will do like that, f and then big bracket f3x. Answer, I already did it, x minus 6. And then do like just now lah, take the x minus 6, ganti masuk dalam fx punya x. So fx is x minus 2, but your x should be replaced with x minus 6. So it becomes x minus 8, right? Okay, I already finished the first three part. They asked to find f2, f3, f4. Now the ultimate one is f75. Okay, please don't tell me you do like that. Please don't tell me you go and do like f f f f f f f f f f f f 75 kali. Tak mau buat macam tu. And also don't tell me you do like how to say f power 3, f power 3, maybe f power 3 until you reach 75. No, 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 no. We don't do like that. We don't do like that. So the 75 means f 75 kali, right? Tapi takkanlah you nak buat 75 kali. So let me show you what I will do. So what I will do is I will go to f power 2, f power 3, f power 4 and look at the answer and try to form a formula for f power nx. It means we try to see what pattern we have here. Okay, because you look at all these answers, there's a pattern to it. And my job now is to find out what's the pattern. And after I find out the pattern, I should generalize it and make it into a formula. Make it into a formula for f power nx. F power nx. And then use that formula to find f power 75x. Okay, so I will erase this first. I will try to write out the formula for f power nx, right? So I want you to notice here, I will use red color. So when this is f power 1, it's x minus 2. When it's f power 2, it's x minus 4. When it's power 3, it's x minus 6. When it's power 4, it's x minus 8. So there is a pattern to it. Doesn't matter, it's f power berapa, it's always x minus something, x minus something, x minus something, x minus something. So it means your answer will always start with x minus, right? But the number here is different. This is 2, this is 4, this is 6, this is 8. But look at all these numbers. 2, 4, 6, 8. These are multiples of 2. Dalam bahasa Melayu, dia adalah gandaan 2. So if it's a multiples of 2, it means this is 2n lah. Because this 2 actually, it means when the power is 1, you start with 2, which is the first multiple of 2. But this is 2, this will be 4, which is the second multiple of 2. And if this is 3, this is 6, which is the third multiple of 2. And when this is 4, this is 8, which is the fourth multiple of 2. So that's why it's 2n. It means when this is power 1, this will be 2 times 1. That's why it's 2 lah. And this 2, this will be 2 times 2. That's why it's 4. And this 3, this is 2 times 3. This is 4, this is 2 times 4. So when this is n, this is 2 times n, right? So I sudah berjaya generalize and make, how to say? And form a formula. Okay, form a formula for f power nx. So now I just have to find f power 75x, right? Okay, before I continue, I just want to mention you can actually check your answer. How do you check your answer is you try to ganti the n2 and see what happens. So it becomes x minus 2 times n2, right? And you really get x minus 4. Same with kalau you ganti 3 sini, 3, 3. It will become x minus 2 times 3, 6, which is same here. Same with kalau you ganti 4. X minus 2 times 4 is x minus 8. So it means that this formula really works lah, right? So now you want to find for f75, you just sub x minus 2 bracket 75 lah. And you get x minus 150. Okay, that means f75x is equals to x minus 150. Okay, all right, hope you understand. Okay, now we are on the last question. Finally, let's finish this. Okay, 15a. Diagram 12 shows a square and rectangle. Square, all four sides same length. Rectangle, only the opposite side same length. So that means this is x, this is 2x plus 10. And for this, it will be x, 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 x. And the unit also look at it at the same time. Meter, meter, meter. So everything is in meter. So that's good. And then given that the sum of the areas of shape is more than 8 meters square. Using table method, find the range of values of x. Okay, just from this word, table method, I know already which chapter. So from this word table method, it's definitely from 4 chapter 2. Because table method, there's only one table method you learn throughout the whole from 5, from 1 until from 5, you only learn one table method. And the table method you learn is for when you do quadratic inequalities. That's why it's from 4 chapter 2, the quadratic chapter. Okay. So later confirm you will end up with a quadratic inequalities. What is inequalities? Ketaksamaan. It means when you have the bigger, smaller, bigger sama dengan ini semua lah. This is what we call inequalities. And it makes sense because they mention more than here. So that's why you use the more than punya symbol nanti lah, right? Okay, before we use the table method, let's write down our inequality first. So they say sum of area of the shape is more than 8. So just find the area of square plus area of rectangle and then more than 8. So I write more than 8. For the area of square, it will be this one times this one, right? The length times the width. Or you can say base times height, whatever. Plus with rectangle punya area will be this one times this one. So x times 2x plus 10 like that. And when you expand this, you will get a quadratic inequality. So x squared plus 2x times x is 2x squared plus 10x. Okay, when you see other square, it means it's a quadratic. So quadratic usually you will susun jadi general form. It means everything on one side equals 0. So the 8 you have to go here become like that, bigger than 0. And then now you can the x squared and 2x squared boleh buat, so jadi 3x squared plus 10x minus 8 bigger than 0. So as you can see, you end up getting a quadratic inequalities. Dalam bahasa Melayu, ketaksamaan quadratic. It's a quadratic, but it's not persamaan because it's bigger. So we call it inequalities. Okay, for quadratic inequality, there's three methods to do it. Three methods. First method is the graph sketching method. Okay, which is the method that we will use most of the time. Okay, and then second method is the number line method. This one you have to draw a number line. And then for 3 is the table method. Okay, so this one we will most of the time we will do this method, right? But if the question cakap macam tu, then we cannot, we cannot use other method lah. But I will show you also the graph sketching method. I will just show you quickly. So I will do it up here. All right. So for the graph sketching method, I will do it here. So I will just put a box like that. Okay, the graph sketching method. Graph sketching method. Okay, for the graph sketching method, it works this way. After you sampai sini, you will press calculator, get your X answer first, right? And if you press the A, 3, B, 10, C, negative 8, you get two answer, 2 or 3, negative 4. Okay. Oh, by the way, even if you're doing the table method or the number line method, you still have to do this step. Yeah, you have to do until here. Okay. Doesn't matter which method you use, you always do until here first. And then this one, bracket also have to write bigger 0. This is 3x minus 2. This is x plus 4. Because you pindah balik kan. Alright, this is bigger, but this one you cannot write bigger. Please don't write bigger. This one you write equal. After you write equal, then only you use one of this method. Either the graph sketching method or number line or table. But of course, this question you must use the table method lah. But I promised you already, I said I will show you the graph sketching method also. So the graph sketching method is like this. After you reach here, you will do this graph. You to sketch a graph and then draw axis. Here you put the small number, negative 4. Here you put 2 or 3. And then you look at the bracket punya baris. If the bracket punya baris bigger, you roll it two kawasan like here and here. But if they say smaller, then you roll it in the middle. So this one you shade here and here lah. So the answer is x smaller than negative 4, x bigger than 2 or 3. Because that's the region represented in the shaded region. Okay, so x smaller than negative 4, so this is the answer. Okay, but they want what? They want table method. So of course this one cannot do like that, right? So I will show you the table method now, but you will end up getting the same answer if you do table method. So the table method is like this. You draw a table. Okay, I think this size is enough. And then for the table, you will draw a line here. And later you will write down all the possible answers here. And then for here, you will write the bracket. But there will be one bracket for 3x minus 2, another one for x plus 4, and then another one for both. Alright, so here you write the bracket. You take out bracket punya baris. This one you write 3x minus 2. The first bracket. And then this one you write the second bracket, x plus 4. And then this one you write both. So it will be 3x minus 2 and then x plus 4 like that. Okay. Then for here, you will also have 3 kotak 1, 2, 3 like that. Okay. For atas here, you will write down all the possible answers. It means you write down all the region. Okay. So let me teach you how to write all the possible answers. The first answer will always be x smaller than the negative number. Tapi dia tak semestinya negative for all the question tau. Sometimes you will get both positive, right? Sometimes you'll get the both answer positive. So tak semestinya negative lah, right? So what you have to remember is the answer is either x smaller than the kecil number or x bigger than the besar number or in between. So I repeat, X smaller than the kecil number. Which one is the kecil one? Negative 4. And then or it can also be X bigger than the besar number. What's the besar number between the two? 2 or 3. And the last one is in between like that. Right? Negative 4, 2 or 3 like this. Right? Please don't go and write X smaller than 2 or 3. No, it's wrong. Remember to always write X smaller than the kecil punya number. So the kecil punya number between the two is negative 4 like that. Right? So now your job is to choose a number that is smaller than negative 4 and then sub inside this bracket, this bracket, this bracket, and see whether you get positive or negative, right? But your final answer, you want it to be positive because they want the bracket to be bigger than 0. So you will end up choosing kotak yang positive. Later, I will look at this tree and see which one give me positive because I want my bracket to be bigger 0. So it means I want this one to be positive, right? But let's find out yang atas dulu. So X smaller than negative 4, I can choose a number. Let's use negative 5. And then X between negative 4, 2 or 3. Okay, let's choose a number between negative 4, 2 or 3. I think 0 is fine. Yeah. And then X bigger than 2 or 3, I will choose 1. Okay. Yeah, bigger than 2 or 3. Yeah, just choose 1. Or you want to choose any number also can. 2 also can, 3 also can. Yeah, whatever. Just make sure it's bigger than 2 or 3 lah. So now you sub the X inside here and see whether you get negative or positive lah. Okay, I'll do it a bit fast. So I will not write any working. I will just straight away sub the negative 5 here. Negative 5 times 3, negative 15. Negative 15 minus 2, negative 17. So it's negative. Okay. Yeah, because you get negative 17, right? But we don't really care about the value. We don't really care about the 17. We only care about whether it's positive or negative, right? So we don't care about the value. Okay, what if I sub the negative 5 inside here? Negative 5 plus 4. Negative 5 plus 4 is negative 1, right? So we don't care about the 1. We only care about positive or negative. So it's negative, right? Okay, what about this? Sub 0. 0 times 3, 0. 0 minus 2, negative 2. So it's negative. Sub 0 here, 0 plus 4 is positive 4. So it's positive. Sub 1 here, 1 times 3, 3. 3 minus 2, positive 1. So it's positive. Sub 1 here, 1 plus 4, 5. So it's positive, right? Okay, what about for this? Bracket 3x minus 2, bracket x plus 4. Of course, you can also take your x negative 5, sub here, and then see this one get negative or positive. This one see negative, positive, and then darab and see in the end what you get lah. Okay, but you can do it fast because just now negative 5 sub inside this bracket, you already do it, you get negative, and then the negative 5 sub inside this, you also already do it negative. So you just take this one, darab this one, so you just get negative times negative, you just get positive. Okay, same with this, you don't have to sub already because just now you sub already. So when you sub inside 3x minus 2, you end up negative. When you sub into x plus 4, you get positive. So what happens when you take a negative number times with the positive number? You get negative. Same also this one, positive number times positive number, you get positive, right? But which one will be your answer? Okay, your bracket, you want your bracket to be positive or you want your bracket to be negative? Look here, you want your bracket to be bigger 0. That means you want your bracket to be positive. That means you want it to be positive. So where's your answer? This one and this one. You remember at first I write all the possible answers here, right? So now that I already know that, I already find out the sign for every kotak, and I know it's positive, that means your answer is at the outside. Is dekat atas ni. So the answer is x smaller than negative 4 or x bigger than 2 or 3. And this is how you get the full mark for table method. And you can see the answer is same with the graph sketching method. Okay. But of course this one, you don't do it lah. You don't do it in this question. Okay. But the reason why I show you this method is because this one you kena tahu. This is the method that we use the most. Okay. The table method and the graph number line method, jarang kita guna lah. And most of the time we use this method, right? Okay, but need to know also lah, because it's in the syllabus, right? So you make sure you know all 3 methods. All right, that's all. Okay, let's do B1. A quadratic equation is given by x squared plus 3x equals to negative 4p. So let's write down this. Okay, I can see it's not in general form. Why not we change it to general form? Yeah, because when we do quadratic, it's always recommended to write the equation in general form. And I can see I can just change to general form easily. Just pindah jadi plus 4p equals 0. Okay. And then next step, they say p is a constant. Okay, ni tak penting. And then B1, find the range of p if the equation has imaginary roots. Okay, when the soalan says range, it means your answer will have the symbol bigger or smaller, or bigger sama dengan, smaller sama dengan, right? And the keyword here should be imaginary roots. So what is imaginary roots? It means it has no real roots. Okay, no real roots. And when it has no real roots, we will do b squared minus 4ac smaller than 0. Okay, and there is a name for this. We call this the discriminant. What is discriminant? The b squared minus 4ac value. Dalam bahasa Melayu, pembeza layan. Okay, so when your discriminant pembezalian is negative, smaller than 0, that means this quadratic equation has no roots or it has imaginary roots lah. Okay, it has roots yang tak real lah, yang bukan real punya. So it's called imaginary. Okay, so what you do now is just do b square minus 4ac smaller than 0 lah. So bracket minus 4 bracket bracket smaller than 0. So it's good that I changed to general form already, because now I can see my ABC, I can just sub inside, right? So b is 3, a is 1, c is 4p. So you get 9 minus 4 times 1 times 4 is 16p smaller than 0, negative 16p smaller than negative 9, p is bigger than 9 over 16. Okay, when you divide by negative, remember the symbol have to flip. You have to terbalikkan. That is why the smaller here become bigger. Alright, sudah siap. Okay, let's do number 2. Okay, let me... Okay, wait Uh, okay lah, can lah. Alright, let's do B2. So B2, it is given that the quadratic equation has roots alpha and beta. But they say the equation, I think it's referring to the equation, this one, right? Yeah. So let's write that down. X squared plus 3x plus 4p. And the p memang kita tak tahu. Yeah, we don't know. We only know the range, but we don't know the exact value. So you don't go and sub with any value you want. We actually don't have. But it's okay. They got give us some other information. They say the roots is alpha beta. Roots means the solution, or in other words, the x lah. So the x is alpha and the x is beta. Right? And then they say form a quadratic equation with roots alpha minus beta plus 1 and beta minus alpha plus 1. Okay, this one confirm you have to use the Sopor method. Okay, when you see the word roots in the question, and if they never mention two different roots, two equal roots, no roots, you will do the Sopor method. Okay, and also they say form equation. Yeah, you know already. Form equation mesti guna Sopor method. Okay, but why the B1 just now I never do Sopor method is because they said imaginary roots ataupun no roots. So for this you don't do Sopor. For this you do b square minus 4ac. Okay, smaller than 0 lah. If it's two different roots, then b square minus 4ac bigger than 0 lah. If it's two equal roots, then b square minus 4ac equals 0. But no roots, then it will be b square minus 4ac smaller 0. Okay, come back to question 2. Do the Sopor. But you have to do Sopor 2 times actually. Okay, one time is for the original equation, and the second time is for the new equation you want to form. Okay, I'll write down the formula for Sopor first. So the first formula you learn under Sopor, SOR formula, x1 plus x2 equals negative b over a. POR formula, x1 times x2 equals c over a. And then the third formula is when you want to form new equation, and the formula will be x squared minus SOR x plus POR equals 0. Okay, yeah, this is how you write the general form for the new equation. X squared minus SOR, the SOR value plus POR equals 0. Okay, but when you trying to form new equation, you actually don't have the, you will not have the b and a and the c and a, because you are forming the new equation. So you will not have the bac. You only need the x1 x2 and the x1 x2 here, because if you have that, that's enough already for you to find. Okay, tak apa, I will explain using the question. So now there's another set of roots, which is a alpha minus beta plus 1, and then x2 equals to beta minus alpha plus 1. But why I separate it? Why I separate this? Because I don't want to confuse, because this roots is for this equation, and this set of roots is for the new equation. So that's why I need to make sure I write them separately, because I don't want to get mixed up, get mixed up later and use the wrong one. So now I'll do Sopor. One time is for this old equation, and then the second time is for the new equation. And you have to do 2 times. Okay, Sopor, what is the formula for SOR? x1 plus x2 equals negative b over a. So alpha plus beta equals negative b over a. And then the b is 3, the a is 1. So your alpha plus beta equals to negative 3. Okay, stop here. Now do the POR. x1 times x2 equals c over a. So x1 is alpha times with beta equals to c over a. So 4p over 1. The reason I can use this c and this a is because this roots is the roots for this equation. That's why you can use the c over a from here. So it becomes alpha beta equals 4p. Alright, this alpha plus beta and this alpha beta will help you later. These two information will help you later when you're doing the second time Sopor. Because when you're doing the second time Sopor, you actually don't have the alpha value and the beta value, right? But it's fine. You can use this to help you. So come, let's do the second time Sopor. So the Sopor formula is what? x1 plus x2 equals negative b over a. So it'll be what? Alpha minus beta plus 1 plus with beta minus alpha plus 1. Okay, actually you have to put bracket lah, but actually tak ada bracket pun tak apa because this is plus, right? So if it's a plus, you can just remove the bracket, nothing happens. But if it's minus, if before the bracket, if it's minus, then you have to be careful already because kalau before bracket minus, then you have to change sign, change everything. I mean, inside the bracket, everything have to change sign already. Okay. Okay. When I take x1 plus x2, I have to equal negative b over a, right? So tell me, can I equals to the negative 3 over 1? Because the ba is 1. Ba is 3 and 1, right? So can I do that? No. The answer is no. You can't equals to this because I told you already, this equation punya roots is not these two. Okay. Yang saya tengah buat sekarang ni, ini roots bukan ini equation punya roots. Okay. This equation punya roots is alpha beta, not alpha minus beta plus 1, beta minus alpha plus 1. So that's why you can't use this equation. That means you don't have the negative b over a for this equation. That means the equal you have to write in front like this. Yeah, you don't have it. Okay. That's what I mean just now when I say when you form new equation, you will not have the BA here. Yeah, because when you're trying to form new equation, you need to find the sort and port value, right? But you will not have this. You will not have the BA and the CA because you're trying to form. If you have the ABC already, then why you need to form? You already have it. Why kena apa salah nak form lagi? The reason you are trying to form is because you don't have the A and B value and the C value. So you will not have the ABC. So you just leave it like this, right? But it's okay. You can use these two information to help you later. So you can see the negative beta plus beta can cut, become 0. And the alpha minus alpha also 0. So I don't even need these two help because I get the 1 plus 1, 2 already. So I don't even need the help from this information because I end up getting because I end up cancelling everything. So now I know already my SOR is 2, so which is good. So later when I write the equation, definitely my B will be what? Negative 2, not positive 2, because the formula is x squared minus SOR. So now I know my SOR already. So now I just have to find my pore value, then I can write my full equation in general form already. Then can finish already lah. Okay, let's do pore. Pore will be this one times this one. Okay, I need a lot of space. Okay, I feel like I need to make space. Okay, let me make some space. Okay, it's okay. This one, if you want to watch back, you can just rewind, right? So I can just erase for now. Okay. Okay, but this one I won't erase. Okay, so the pore will be the product of roots, which is x1 times x2. So it will be alpha minus beta plus 1 multiply with beta minus alpha plus 1. And you will not write the C over A, same reason lah, because you don't have the C and A. Okay. Yeah, you won't have, when you form new equation, you will not have the C and A. But it's okay. You will just write the equal here. And then later, if you need help, you just ganti with these two. Use this to help you later. Okay, let's try to expand this. Okay, sebenarnya you tak pernah expand term yang macam ni, yang ada tiga term, right? Yang you pernah belajar, yang you biasa is when it has two terms here, two terms here. Like for example, alpha plus 1, beta minus 1. Like that. You see got two terms, right? And how you expand? Depan darab depan, depan darab belakang, belakang darab depan, belakang darab belakang. That's how you expand lah kalau dua term, dua term. But imagine if it's three term, two term. It means alpha minus beta plus 1, alpha plus 1, three term, two term. How you expand? Alpha times alpha, alpha times 1. Negative beta times alpha, negative beta times 1. 1 times alpha, 1 times 1. Yeah. This one is kalau three term, two term lah. But this one is like three term, three term. So how do you expand if three term, three term? Okay, I will show you now. First, you will take the first term in the first bracket, and then you multiply everyone in the second bracket, like that. And then you take the second term in the first bracket, and then you multiply everyone in the second bracket. And then same thing, the third term in the first bracket, multiply everyone in the second bracket, like that. Okay. Okay, let's do slowly. So first is the alpha times beta first. So you end up getting alpha beta. Okay, and then still take the first term, but darab with the second term in the second bracket. So alpha times negative alpha square, right? And then last one is alpha times positive 1, you get plus alpha. Okay, basically you just take the term and then darab everyone in the second bracket lah. And then after you are done, go to the second term and then repeat the same process. Negative beta times beta, negative beta square. Negative beta times negative alpha, positive alpha beta. And then negative beta times 1, negative beta, right? And then for the last term in the first bracket, positive 1 times beta is positive beta. Positive 1 times negative alpha, positive 1 times positive 1, positive 1. Right? Okay, and when you reach here, you can see there are some terms I can cut. Alpha minus alpha can cut. Okay, what else? Negative beta plus beta also can cut because negative 1 beta plus 1 beta is 0. Okay, what about alpha beta and alpha beta? This one cannot cut, but I can do it because alpha beta is 4p, right? So it becomes 4p plus 4p. That's the alpha beta and the alpha beta here. Okay. Okay, let's put a dot here because the dot is because I put the dot so that I know like okay ini sudah buat. So nanti tak payah tulis dah. So now I have to write negative alpha square, but I don't have alpha square here, but it's okay. Let's write down first and then minus beta square and then plus 1. Okay. So did I write everything? Negative alpha square, negative beta square. This one cut D, cut D, cut D, cut D, and then 1 is here. Okay, so this is what I end up getting lah. So now what is 4p plus 4p? 8p. Okay, and then the plus 1 I have to write at the back. Okay, now this part I stuck already. Negative alpha square minus beta square. If you look at the information I have, I don't have the negative alpha square minus beta square. I only have alpha plus beta and alpha times beta. So how do you do it? Okay, I will take out the negative first. Right? I will take out the negative first. Because when I take out the negative, when I factorize out negative 1, I will left with alpha square. And then negative divide negative, you end up getting positive, and then beta square like that. Right? But a lot of students will make this mistake. I will tell you now what mistake student will make. Student will tell me something like this. They will say like, oh sir, negative bracket alpha square plus beta square. Okay, the square is actually inside the bracket, like that, right? They will say something like this. Oh, sir, the square dua-dua pun ada mah. So they will do like that. Alpha plus beta square like that. They will just write the square outside. And kenapa dia buat macam tu? Because they want to sub this one. And then they just sub the negative 3 inside like that. Okay, this is wrong. This is wrong. Sangat teruk ini, salah. Let me tell you why this is wrong. So the reason, okay, okay, so it's negative 3 square, right? But this is wrong. So, okay, why is this wrong? Is because you cannot take the square and just write outside the bracket unless this is times. If this is times, then you can do that. Okay? If this is times and everyone have square, then you can write outside. If it's plus, cannot. You know why? Because alpha plus beta square is not equal to alpha square plus beta square. Let me tell you what is alpha plus beta bracket square means. So I will okay, this one is I will do it here. So let me tell you what is alpha plus beta square. Alpha plus beta square is actually alpha square plus 2 alpha beta plus beta square, which is not very same with this. You faham? That is why you cannot say alpha square plus beta square equals to alpha plus beta square. It's wrong. It's wrong. I just prove it to you here already. Alpha plus beta square is actually alpha square plus beta square plus 2 alpha beta. So there is a 2 alpha beta missing here. If there's 2 alpha beta, then only you can change like that. Then only like that is correct. Okay. Yeah, so we can't do it that way lah. So I already show you the wrong way. Now, what is the correct way then? So 8p minus, I leave it and then plus 1, right? So I want alpha square plus beta square. So do you agree? If this one equals to this, that means your alpha square plus beta square will be alpha plus beta square minus 2 alpha beta lah. Because from here you see it already like alpha plus beta square equals to what? Alpha square plus 2 alpha beta plus beta square. Let me erase this. Right? Let me erase this. So now what I want is this and this. Correct? You see? Alpha square plus beta square, right? So you just pinna this to the other side. So you left with what? Alpha plus beta bracket square minus 2 alpha beta. Okay? So this one is actually come from here, but this one you pinna sana lah. Okay? So alpha square plus beta square, alpha square plus beta square is equals to alpha plus beta bracket square minus 2 alpha beta. So I will put in this formula inside here now. But I will use big bracket because there's a negative here, so I have to be very careful. So I will write here alpha square plus beta square is actually what? Bracket alpha plus beta total bracket square minus 2 alpha beta. Minus, yeah lah, because this one plus you pindah jadi minus lah. So now you continue 8p minus big bracket, small bracket. Now the alpha plus beta, now you can start already. Because now the square is not inside anymore. It's outside the bracket. If it's inside like that, cannot. Cannot. Alright, so minus 2 times alpha beta, which is 2 times 4p. And then close the bracket plus 1 equals to 8p. Okay, the negative, leave it first. Let's do dalam first. Negative 3 square is 9. 9 minus 2 times 4 is 9 minus 8p. But don't forget there's a bracket and then plus 1. Okay, now when you open the bracket, all the sign change already because negative 9 plus 8p plus 1. So now you get, not enough space already. So it becomes 8p plus 8p, 16p lah. Negative 9 plus 1 is negative 8. Right? Okay, I need space. I need space. Okay, so now that I have my, what happened? 16p minus 8. Okay, now I already have my pore value. And this one cannot simplify already, right? So now finally we can form the equation. So the equation formula, remember, x squared minus SOR x plus pore equals 0. So, uh, wait. So remember my SOR just now is 2, right? Okay. But my pore working is very long. This is all my pore working. Okay? But this one is my SOR, 2. So your answer would be what? Dot 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 x square minus SOR x plus pore x equals 0. So minus 2x plus pore, which is plus 16p minus 8 equal 0. Okay. Okay, the question got say can be in terms of p. No, right? They just say form a equation. Okay, but actually it should be in terms of p lah, because the equation here also is in terms of p, right? So automatic when you form also you'll be in terms of p. Yeah. So actually the question should mention it lah, but they never mention it. But I'm sure it will be in terms of p, the answer. Okay. So I think that's all. I finished all the questions in this paper. So if you find this video useful, subscribe and also leave a comment and give me some feedback. All right. And I will read all the comments. Okay. If you have any question, just ask me in the comments. And I'll see you next video lah. Next video, I'll do the paper 2. Okay. See you next video. Bye bye.